Hey,
hello everyone. Welcome back to our Friday night Claret and Booze Up, the Christmas special. We're going to be joined this evening by hopefully quite a few guests. We've already got one eager beaver sitting in the green room at the moment. He's honestly, I feel quite bad now. I mean, I don't know about you, Gary. I'm looking at you and I'm thinking I'm glad I didn't bother. But John, you look good.
50p Tesco done.
I'm gonna flash him up quickly and then I'm gonna take him off again just so you can have a quick glimpse. Look, this is Mike. Look.
Don't tease people.
Have a look.
Look at them lights.
Oh, on, Mike,
look at them lights.
See you later, mate. Right.
You might need to put one of those flashing light, things up. If you suffer
Yeah. No, we're gonna bring everyone in slowly. We're just gonna do a quick intro to the show first. So obviously, as you know, massive controversy with Claret and Booze after the Arsenal game. We uploaded a bit of a post-match reaction. Got a bit naughty, got a bit tasty. Had to take it down the next day because it was fine actually. It weren't too bad, but I didn't like the tone of it. Gary was a bit miserable, and I thought I can't.
Let me just say, right? We went to the game and then we came back and Nick said, let's do a post-match review in his house. So he had me and Nick sitting in his house together, like half-inch apart, speaking into one mic, and John on the other end. And there was a point where me and Nick were nearly rolling around on the floor.
It was only the dog was there that stopped you, I reckon.
No, massive lessons learned. Never again. Not after a defeat like that. No way. Especially when he's sitting next to me, because he does not bring out the best of me. We don't agree. We don't agree on nothing. So especially when we're in the same room, you know, because basically what happens is I start saying a comment, and as I'm saying it, I can see him fucking shaking his head as I'm saying it. So I start getting wound up straight away, and then all of a sudden it starts boiling over. So no, can't happen. Never again. But anyway, we are going to review the Arsenal game again. We're going to do that. So we're going to have another attempt at reviewing the Arsenal game. Then we're going to move on to the Claret and Booze news. Got a few bits and pieces to discuss in that, and then we are going to break things up. It's Sasagabor. Then we are going to break things up with a little quiz. So I don't know if any of you have used Kahoot before, but if you haven't, we're going to give it a go. I basically just went in, and I'll be honest with you, I'm going to be open and honest. I went on to Kahoot and I've seen that Russ Budden from West Ham Network, he's got loads of quizzes in there. So Russ, I've nicked all your quiz questions. All right. So thank you very much. So we're going to do a Russ Budden quiz. And that's just going to break it up. And then we are going to move on to hopefully it happens on Wednesday. I do kind of, I want that to happen now because it'd be nice to end the year on a high, wouldn't it? You know, or it could completely ruin Christmas, whatever. But I'd rather give it a go. They haven't played, Tottenham ain't played for how long now?
3 weeks?
Is it 3 weeks? They've got to be rusty, haven't they?
Really?
They'll either be lovely and fresh or crap.
Yeah, they're going to be. Yeah, exactly. So so hopefully that'll go ahead, and we're going to preview that game. So I think to get started, what we'd do, as Father Jack is sitting, and he looks all right. I think this is the right time to bring him in, isn't it? He ain't had
How many of them 10% cans has he had before he comes on?
He looks fresh. He looks fine. He's all right.
He's good to go. He's good to go.
Hello, Claire. You're all right. Right, okay. So what we'll do, we'll bring. Let's just bring Mike in now, as he's already here. Go on.
Hello, Mike.
Hello, Mike. How are you? Show us your twinkling lights again.
Oh, hang on. There you go.
You just had to take it too far, didn't you, Mike?
I've got two more to come. There will be costume changes.
Beautiful. One for the ladies.
Oh dear, good stuff. How are you, Mike? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. Still suffering from Wednesday, really.
Yeah, I know. I'm not as bad now. I'm not as bad, to be honest. I don't know why I got. It must just be because it's Arsenal. Because you know what, I weren't expecting to win that game. I really weren't. I thought we was going to lose, and I think I'll let John go into the review. But I think what wound me up was it felt a little bit like a surrender to me. It felt like we went there and we didn't really give it a good go. It just felt like we went there and waved the white flag. And it was a big game. It was a 6-pointer. You know, it was a big prize at stake there. If we'd have won that, would have given ourselves some breathing space in that top four. Lose it, you switch places, and then we've got to try and catch them, and don't really fancy it. So it was a bit disappointing in that respect for me. But anyway, John, go on. I'll let you kick on, mate. I'll let you crack on with the Arsenal review.
Yeah, I mean, I like you. I know you call me the happy clappy fan, but I'm just quite optimistic. I was looking forward to the game, and I thought we did have a chance. I really did, and it might be built on the back of the fact that this season we've turned up against the bigger teams, if you like, or at least got the wins against the bigger teams. I know we didn't play particularly well against Chelsea, but we somehow managed to get the points. For me, going into it, the team was pretty much as we expected, although I did expect Antonio to be rested. Anyway, he started. And to be honest with you, as the game went on, Arsenal were on top to some degree first half. We had a few spells, but I started to get a picture of, they've had a lot of chances. We're going to get a chance here and nick it. So as we went into half time, I was very buoyant of the second half. And as we know, they scored very early on in the second half, which sort of somewhat curtailed our hope to some extent. One thing I wasn't happy about, and me, Nick, and Gary have been talking about this off air, if that's the right phrase, off air, over text messages, and there's been a lot of talk about it over social media, various issues during the game. Personally, I think the Arsenal players were very coy in the way they were rolling around the pitch. They was going down at every opportunity, and for me, it's very easy being on the other side and saying, "Oh, our players wouldn't do that," and to some extent, I think our players are too honest, and I think sometimes these days you might have to be a little bit more coy, And I'm not a fan of play acting. I'm not a fan of rolling around. But when you watch other teams continuously do it, you sort of start to think, well, why are we not getting anything? Are we too honest? So for me, the Arsenal players unashamedly were going down like the proverbial sack of shits. And I think you, Gal, said to me on the message on the way back from Arsenal, you basically said to me, what about when Soufal elbowed Tierney? Now, because of Tierney's play acting, of holding his face, even people at the game, and you were that side of the pitch, you thought he elbowed him in the face.
We did. We did.
I mean, I must admit, it was the action. It was a way he did fling his arm back, and then obviously Tierney. He did. Well, it looked bad when you was live at the game. It looked bad.
It did look bad. We were stood together. It looked like he'd elbowed him in the face. But when you watch the replay, the cheating from Tierney is such a high level. I mean, it's next level shit. This is right because
Arsenal were like that throughout though. The whole game.
He sees the arm come back. Tierney sees the arm come back and he immediately throws his head back and starts holding his face. I mean, he's good at it, right? And so is Lacazette. I mean, we'll talk about the penalty after, but whether you think it was a penalty or not, right? Lacazette gets a tap on the and it was a tap on the shin pad, and he screams and rolls over about 50 times, and he's writhing in agony. These people are good at this stuff, right? They really are. Sorry, Mike, go on.
Can I say one? Can I say one
back on the pitch? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, when Arteta rolled him back, Martinelli.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah.
That was bad.
They're laughing about it, but that's cheating. It's cheating.
It is
laughing about it.
It is cheating. But can I say one thing? And just to add some balance to this, because I'm going to add some balance. There's a video floating around on Twitter at the moment with Antonio in that game with the 5 most pathetic dives you've ever seen, and the worst dive of the lot was from Souček. Honestly, so they weren't. No, they weren't the only one. No, they weren't the only ones play acting. We were at it as well. They're clearly just better at it than us, or the referee don't give anything.
Exactly what I was going to say. We're obviously not good at it then.
No. We're not very good at it. We're not very good at it. But in Soufal's defence, he had cramp and Antonio had shin splints.
No, Antonio just fell over the ball. That was it.
Yeah, no, but they were all at it. But I must admit that one that you mentioned there with Arteta. I mean, to be quite honest, why weren't he carded? He might as well have been on the pitch. I've never seen a manager so animated.
That was the most animated I've seen Arteta as a manager. He really wanted that win because he knew it would come back into fourth. And psychologically, that's a big thing, just before Christmas, getting back into fourth. I mean, getting back to the game, we know first half, especially Dawson put in 3 heroic blocks, sort of John Terry-esque type blocks. We know Fabianski made a couple of fantastic saves. He tipped one onto the bar from Tierney and he went down low to the left on another one. And it was another game where I was thinking, we're not doing much going forward, right? But our defence looked resolute. Our defence looked strong. I know they had the chances, but they didn't have loads of clear cut. Fabs didn't have loads to do. You could say last-ditch
Oh,
blocks.
Matt, I'm not being funny. If Dawson he made about 3 or 4
I was just
heroic
gonna say,
last-ditch blocks, and if not for that, we would have been going in about 2 or 3 goals down.
I know, but I'm talking about the keeper making the saves. That's the point. That's when you know.
Yeah.
I agree with you there totally. So, but like I said, when we went in at half-time 0-0, I was watching it with my son, and I thought, you know what, we can come out and nick it here.
Yeah, we felt like that.
But unfortunately, as much as
The early goal did us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. And at half time, me and Nick said exactly the same thing. We're saying, this is we've held out for that half. You know, there are a few chances. We've held them out. We've defended well. We look like we're bullying them a little bit in midfield. We're doing all right. And then we expected a different team in the second half. And I think the second half is where it all went wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I think it actually was to our detriment that we went in at 0-0. Because in the Chelsea game, going in a goal down, Moyes was forced to change it at half time. I think the fact that we went in at 0-0, Moyes probably went in quite happy, and he probably thought his plan was working. And he came out with it was exactly the same. And like I say, they did in the first few minutes what they should have done, in the first 45, and it was no surprise. Moyes' plan was obviously to hold out for his usual 60 minutes before he makes a dynamic change. We saw similar against Wolves, didn't we? We saw that goal coming. Do you remember? When Wolves were pressing, and we saw that it was going to come, and by the time you make that change, it's too late. I don't know. I was disappointed. I mean, I was happy. It's a weird thing, isn't it? Like you said, I thought we were terrible in the first half. I thought we were genuinely shit in the first half.
That's it, attacking wise, Nick.
Yeah, I thought we. Oh yeah, there were some good individual performances, namely sort of probably Fabs, Dawson, and Diop played well. I don't think Soufal and I don't think Soufal played well. And I've watched the highlights back, and I'm completely in agreement with you about Masuaku now. I mean, Saka looked like bloody Messi, didn't he?
I mean, Saka's a good player.
He's a good player, to be fair.
He is a good player. So let's get that right.
He's a good player. But what I'm saying is the way you set up against a team like that, who we know they like to have the ball, we know they like they've got a possession-based game. We know they've got players with craft that can solve problems. And to set up like that was just naive, and it really was. And it weren't genius to be going in at half time 0-0. It was luck. We was lucky to only be going in at 0-0.
Whether it's luck or not, if you're going in at 0-0, you hope that you then come out and make a change, or you be more proactive. But the problem is, like you're saying, that we didn't see that. We didn't have time to see that. They scored so early.
Yeah.
They scored so early, and it was a fantastic bit of skill from Lacazette, in my opinion.
I'll tell you what, we're going to come to one of the news items is to talk about penalties and all the freebies that the big teams are getting lately, right? So we're going to cover this again. But I watched the replay straight after the game, and I thought that Soufal deserved the yellow card and deserved to get sent off and the penalty and everything else.
So did Moyes.
I was watching it on my phone. I couldn't see it. It was only from one angle. I've seen it back over and over again from different angles. I think Moyes was wrong to say what he said after the game about how he should have done better. And my new favourite ex-referee mate is Dermot Gallagher, right? And I'm gonna read what Dermot Gallagher said. It's just a few paragraphs. Bear with me. For the first yellow card, it's a flailing arm from Soufal into Kieran Tierney. That's all, but it's a yellow card, right? So he's saying it's not a red card. He doesn't use his arm as a weapon. He doesn't throw it back, so he makes the right decision. For the second yellow card, and therefore a red, it's a massive controversial decision. It's a very debatable decision, and for me, I feel he's very, very lucky to be giving the penalty away. Unlucky. What Anthony Taylor sees on the field, he sees Soufal goes over the top of the ball, and the player then goes through and catches Lacazette on the shin. That's what he sees. And that's what he makes his judgment on. I don't think he sees that A, he gets the ball, and B, he gets the ball a second time with his trailing leg, which is why the ball goes to the left. The referee thought this through and ran it through his mind. The VAR then looks at it, Peter Banks, and he thinks it's that because Anthony Taylor has given the penalty, he also believes he got the top of the ball. So he's basically agreeing with the referee, Anthony Taylor, who said he got the top of the ball. So he can't actually override Anthony Taylor's decision, because what Anthony Taylor said did happen, and he can't make an objective judgment or a subjective judgment around whether it's a penalty or not, which kind of waters down VAR, doesn't it?
Yeah, massively.
It waters down, and we ain't going to move off this subject because we've got someone in the chat who I think is going to join us. I think Nigel's going to come on.
Yeah.
So right, give us a minute. Hold on. me open up my messenger. This is going to get interesting.
Is he gonna attack me like he has on Twitter all day? Is he?
Has he been attacking you?
He's in his shed.
Oh, God.
Here we go. Right, he's got it. Right, Nigel, that's coming your way, mate. We will wait for you because I've got a what I'm going to do when he's online. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures, and then before you interrupt, just let me talk you through my thinking and what I think should have happened. And
right, can I just say before you do that, I just want to say to everybody, we're going to have more people on the screen tonight. This is a Christmas party. It will get a little bit louder later.
Yeah, it's going to be more carnage than usual. It will be. So we have briefed everyone to sort of try and not talk over each other and stuff, but that probably won't work.
Hence my quietness.
We'll just see how it goes.
You're only one can in, Mike.
In fact, as Chris is here, let's bring Chris in while we're waiting. Like here.
Yeah.
There we go. You're right. Go on, Gary.
Why were you all so small?
Well, because there are more people. There are more people on the screen. That's why.
But then it's got so small. Oh, there we go. That's better. That was because there was a comment up.
Yeah.
Right, sorry, Nick, you were saying. Carry on.
Yeah, no. So, well, like I say, I've got some slides I'm going to put up when Nigel was on. Nigel was here.
Well,
here he is.
He's back.
Hello, Nigel. He's back.
All right, boys.
How are we doing?
He's kicked COVID's ass and he's back in his shed and doing what he loves to do.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Good to see you back.
Yeah, it's good to be alive.
Yeah.
Oh, there's your Christmas special right there.
Yeah. Well, Nigel, what we got up to was Gary reading out Dermot Gallagher's his take on the penalty issue. I don't know if you've read that article, but what I'm going to do is now I'm going to quickly give my point of view on this tackle, and then obviously we'll have a little discussion about it. So I'm going to throw this up first. Now, first of all, if you have a little look at this challenge here, the first thing that you can see is Lacazette is, I know he's in the air, but he's like 4 foot away from that ball. Soufal doesn't have to swing his leg like that. He doesn't have he doesn't have to swing his leg like that at all. I don't think. That is a toe poke away. So for me, he's gone for the wrong type of technique. And by the time he makes contact, the ball's almost sort of running away from him, which is why he goes over the top of it anyway. I don't know if these pictures are in order, but I'll go through them anyway. Yeah, you can see there, his heel does touch the ball, but look at Lacazette's foot. Lacazette's foot is also on that ball as well. Right now, if you go,
and he's also high.
Wait, and if you go to the next one, no, this one here, no, this one, right. If you have a look here, so now he's rolled over the top of that ball, and he's now on Lacazette's shin. Now at this point, that ball's still in Lacazette's control because it's on his instep. So for me, what happens is it's a sliding leg that knocks that ball clear. And he takes the player out. Now for me, I am sorry. I think it's poor technique from Soufal. He did get a part of the ball. I don't think he needed to tackle like that in the first place. And I think he gave the referee a decision to make, and I think it was unnecessary. That's my thoughts on it.
I mean, if you go back to
the referee's always going to make that decision against Arsenal for Arsenal.
If you go back to that last picture quickly, you can see this was shin pad on shin pad. You can see him already screaming at the top of his lungs before he goes down and rolls over.
I know, but that's what players do, irrespective of that, Gary. I know you don't like it, but Nigel, what's your take on it?
During the game,
in
the group chat I was in, I was like cursing VAR, cursing the ref, and then you see the video like from the side that you've shown, so from sort of behind the goal from the side. And, everybody screams, go and show me the law in football that says if you touch the ball, that means it's not a foul. That makes it a fair challenge.
Yep.
And you go find that law and bring it, and I'll go, yeah, you're right. But I'll tell you what, we won't see you again tonight because you won't find it. Touching the ball don't make it a fair challenge. There's not one law in football that says for a reckless tackle, touching the ball's got nothing to do with it. So my first thought was the ref's having a laugh. But then when you see it and the referee's nearer it and you can see Soufal, he could have took the ball lower down. Yeah. He could have done, but he didn't. It was bad technique from him. And what he done is he gave the referee the opportunity to do what he did.
Was it reckless?
Yeah, it was reckless.
It was a poor.
Why was it reckless? He's trying to clear the ball, and he just happens to
it was
make contact
reckless because he only brushed the ball slightly. It was his rear foot. If you look, the sliding foot on the floor that clears the ball, not the top foot. So the foot that brought down Lacazette is the one that has clumped him. Touching the ball is nothing to do with it. It's not in the laws of the football. If you touch the ball, it ain't a foul.
I know that's not in the laws of football because that's around. There's that rule that if you go over the top of the ball and take a player out,
Well, has he not gone over the top of the ball?
No, but what I'm saying is, if you go over the top of the ball with intent to hurt a player, you get a red card, a straight red card. This is not that. This is not going over the top.
But it is a foul. But it's a foul, though.
It's a reckless challenge. Yeah,
it's a foul.
He said, "Well, I could say he could have done better, but whether I'd call it reckless or not, I don't know."
I'll tell you what, swap the shirts. Yeah.
Would we have got that penalty down the other end?
But I think we would, yeah.
I think looking at it like this, I can't help it. I mean, I know there's that debate. You know, they always say, "Did you touch the ball?" With a penalty. But I think when there is a foul, I mean, if you look at this here, right, Lacazette's got his left foot planted on the ground. Now we had to go at the way that Lacazette launched himself. If he didn't launch himself there, Soufal's going to slide through. He's going to slide through his ankle. That's what he's going to do. So you can't. You have to run and jump clear of it. And he did dive. He did make the most of it. That's what these Premier League players do. And he was at it all game. But what I'm saying is,
was it Pardew used to fine players for diving in the box on attacking?
Yeah.
I just think going back to the point that John made earlier, I just think that we're not very good at it. I think these top teams are brilliant at it, absolutely brilliant. And we will talk about this penalty thing a lot more later because one of the news items is about penalty decisions, and that's going to be quite heated. So let's.
Did you guys hear Declan Rice's comments after the game?
Yeah, he was really, he looked pissed off, didn't he?
Well, specifically, he said about cynical or tactical challenges. And I think he was insinuating.
He said that we weren't doing it. He said that we weren't doing enough.
Yeah, and I think he was insinuating that we need to think about stepping up our game with regards to being tackled and how we tackle.
He looked completely pissed off, actually.
I mean, didn't Moyes call it a penalty?
Yeah, he did.
No,
yeah.
He said no.
He did, yeah. No, he did.
Oh, sorry, he said it was a penalty. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he said it was a penalty. He said, I've got no complaints. He said, I thought it was poor technique from Soufal. Yeah. He made a meal of it. He could have just cleared it. And that's kind of how I see it.
I'll tell you what, this is a democracy. Let's have a vote. Who thought it was a penalty? Hands up.
It was a penalty, yeah.
Three. Who thinks it wasn't a penalty?
Oh,
it's split.
Fucking hell. Why do you have to be free?
Hang on.
Yeah, but the casting vote generally goes to the chairman. So Nick's hosting tonight, isn't he?
We've got Danny.
Danny can vote.
Danny, was it a penalty? Was it a penalty or wasn't it a penalty?
I don't think it was deserving of a booking, but it was a penalty.
That's a pretty good way of putting it.
Yeah. I know that sounds like a cop out, but miles away.
What's that?
I said, and he see it from 3,000 miles away. I don't know what you.
Yeah, I've got a big TV. I don't know if I had a better view than you guys, but I still saw it.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, if that had been given as a free kick, we'd have had no complaints.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
So I think Danny's got a good intermediate. I'm going against the penalty because I just don't think it was a booking.
Yeah.
Because I think the two are totally linked. But I think Danny's right, and I think as a free kick, that would have been outside the penalty box. A free kick would have been cool.
Oh yeah, no, Claire, I completely agree. We're not saying it was reckless because it was an out of control tackle, but
clumsy and stupid. He's reckless.
It was clumsy.
So she admits it's clumsy and stupid. Yeah. So therefore, he's reckless.
He ain't gone in to break. He ain't gone in to break his leg. But look, he could have made a better job of that challenge. You can see that.
Of course he could. Of course he could. And so could have. You know, who was it? I think it was Dawson who took a shot and it hit 50 yards over the bar. He could have made a better job of that shot as well. It's all about in the moment, isn't it? You know, you can't really. You know, I don't know. It's very difficult to decide for me anyway.
Is it smack of the old who was the player that we used to have? Was it Kevin Nolan always used to get sent off sort of coming up to Christmas?
Yeah, yes, Kevin Nolan. Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day.
Do you think with him throwing his arm back, you know, with that one and then doing that, do you think he was just trying to get Christmas off?
Well, no, because he only gets a one-match ban, so he only misses.
Nolan's is always a red.
He didn't do a very good job, did he?
No.
He didn't do a very good job. So,
for my say, yeah, being a top quality defender that I used to be back in the day, yeah,
First yards in the head, John.
I just think there is reckless and there's high challenges. But when I look at that, I can't say that was absolutely reckless and absolutely.
It was a foul. It was a foul, though, wasn't it? It was a foul.
It was a silly challenge.
I think it was a foul. Yeah.
Where did he touch the ball first with his right foot? He touched it on the right hand side of the ball.
Yeah, on the side of the ball, not on the top of the ball.
And that's my
On the side
problem.
of the ball, and as the ball rolled, his foot rolled with it. He cannot, through physics.
Yeah, look, put these glasses on, son. They've got claret and blue tinted for you.
Yeah,
Special.
Nigel, you can imagine some of the tackles that used to go on over Ackley Marshes when the referee's trying to send him off.
Yeah.
And he's arguing his innocence. I've got the ball, ref. There's a player snapped in half on the floor.
Yeah, he's the 40-year-old Virgil, though, isn't he?
Listen, you're trying to. It's all about the attackers now. No one cares about defending anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree.
It's a dying art. It's a dying art, John.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is.
I think we've done the Arsenal review anyway. The second Arsenal review, version 2, Nick.
Yep. Okay, no, that's fine. Well, that was a much nicer, calmer version. It's
Nick
because
won't be
I'll tell you what it is. It's because you're not sitting in the room next to me, shaking your head as I'm talking. That's what it is.
I'll tell you what.
Listen to the younger brother.
At the end of that review, let me just give you a little insight. If you didn't see it, at the end of that review, right, we're sitting there next to each other, and at the end of it, we closed it down. I said, "Good night, everyone." I said to him, "Fuck off," and he said, "You fuck off out my house." That's how it went. Right.
Len's type of video. You really upset him there.
No, I know. Right, okay. Right, John, go on, carry on, mate. So, I suppose, look, just closing thoughts on the game. Do you want to just do that for everyone?
Closing thoughts of the game, attacking wise, we were totally inept, devoid of ideas. I thought it was interesting what Chris said, though, during the game, when he said that Arsenal sort of bypassed our centre midfield. I think they did to some degree. I think they looked at our team and thought, well, Declan Rice pulls the strings. Let's play around him a bit. And having watched the game back to some degree since Wednesday, I sort of saw what Chris was saying. I don't think he was instrumental as he could have been and usually is. He still had a good game. He still had a 7 out of 10 in my opinion. But he wasn't pulling the strings as much as he can. And I think you have to give Arsenal credit for that. It's very easy to blame our players, but you have to sometimes give credit to the opposition. However, we did make it very easy for them in an attacking sense. I don't think we really threatened them at all throughout the whole game.
We invited them on.
Yeah, I mean,
I just think missing three of our back four. Whatever game you go into, how many teams? Look at Liverpool last year when they were missing a load of their back four. They went on a blip.
Yeah, but our defence isn't the issue. I don't look at our defence.
We only conceded one goal.
I think you're only looking at the defence. I think you're only looking at defence from one side, right? You're looking at the defence, the defender's ability to defend, which is great, right? Dawson and Diop do a great job, but then you're looking at the defender's ability to move the ball out of defence, to create, and then when you're looking at Ogbonna and what's his name, Zuma, what they were doing, Ogbonna was bringing the ball out of defence, playing it into midfield. It was lovely and calm. Cresswell was getting forward. He was taking set pieces. He was crossing the ball in. We do miss these players, and you can't underestimate it. You cannot say that Zuma and Diop and Arthur are the same level. Sorry, are at the same level as their replacements. It's just like.
But what I'm saying is if you look at that game, it wasn't. I'm not going to say it was backs against the wall, but our defence were in somewhat in control. Really, I know Arsenal had a lot of chances, a lot of ball, but. It was somewhat in control, and Dawson was absolutely superb, as we said, and so was Diop. Masuaku, that's another story defensively, what he was up to. But so I just think it's in the attacking sense that we're lacking.
Isn't that a bad thing though? That our defenders have to be absolutely superb.
Absolutely,
because we're not attacking.
No, I agree because I said it. I made the point the other night far too aggressively. I made this point. And that was with the Chelsea game, right? The Chelsea game, we started out, and forget the formation. It's all about mentality. We started out in a defensive mindset. We sat back. We invited them on. We tried to do what we did to Arsenal, going at 0-0. It didn't work. We was lucky not to go in even a few goals down against Chelsea. And then what he did was, because our defence was struggling in that game and we was a goal down, what he did was he looked to me like he switched it up, not just because we was chasing a goal, but because a way of protecting a defence when it is that shaky. When you've got Masuaku being roasted about 20 times in a half and by Saka, and when you're inviting the pressure on, sometimes the best form of defence is to attack, push them back. Stop Tierney bombing forward. Push them back. Give them something to think about. Don't just stick Antonio up front on his own and use him as a target man, which he ain't, and expect him to sort of launch balls up. But Antonio's a runner. If you want to use that Antonio to his strengths,
he's not doing that anymore.
No.
You play balls into the channel, but he's not a target man. He ain't handicapped. He's not that person.
Antonio struggled to actually even trap the ball properly though on Wednesday. You know,
I know he was bad. Chris, I know he was poor.
Ended up going to the opposition.
Yeah, his first touch was horrible on Saturday.
Yeah, it was.
Sunday.
I know he was poor. But I think there was a lot of, as you said, I think we gave Ben Rama a lot of criticism, didn't we? Because he gave that ball away. And I'm not Ben Rama's biggest fan, but when I watched back that pass from Rice didn't half whip that into him. He didn't half zip it into him unnecessarily.
Yeah, it was pretty hard.
It was pretty hard, and Ben Rama actually didn't control it bad, but he had players on him straight away. So there was quite a lot we could have done differently. But Mike, what was your thoughts on the game overall?
Just typical game against Arsenal, really, wasn't it? It was just
waving the white flag.
We went and lost. That's it.
I'll tell you what, that weren't a typical game against Arsenal there, because in the past they've battered us 4s and 5s.
Yeah, but it could have been though, couldn't it? That could have been 4 and 5.
5 years ago, last December.
Yeah.
5-0.
Yeah, I remember, Chris. Yeah.
It was disappointing for me.
A bit, Mike.
It was disappointing for me because the last couple of games we played against them, home and away, we've dominated and lost. Right, this one it kind of reverted to type, albeit we didn't get slaughtered, like Nigel said.
Yeah,
I mean we're still 1 point up on the games we played last season.
On the barometer, we're still.
We're still 1 point.
I was wondering about that. That's cool.
Yeah, that is good. That is good. I mean, look. At the end of the day, I think this break has come at a right time for us because honestly,
100%.
I think our mentality, even going against Norwich at the moment, I wouldn't quite fancy it. And we've got 5 really winnable games coming up, so we can really get our season back on track again. So getting a bit of a break, get some players back.
I don't think
what I mean is Nigel, about season back on track. I mean momentum. Get momentum back. Just try and get into that winning habit again. That's what I mean.
Yeah, but aside from last season, we've struggled away at Burnley. Right?
Yeah.
Apart from last season.
Yeah.
So we drew there. They didn't dominate us, but then again, no one really dominated that game. Arsenal away, we know that's 3 points to Arsenal. That's the way it's always gone, apart from twice.
So 2015 was the last time. I didn't even realise that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So but we've only won there twice. So I know it's difficult to go, well, their games we lose, their games we win, their games we struggle in. Yeah. But if you revert to type, this is what it is. Moyes has spent these first 6 months with West Ham fighting relegation. He loses the job, comes back, spends the next 6 months fighting relegation. Yeah. Then he has us challenging in the top 6. We've had feast or famine, and this is why I say to people, I think we're over-criticising them when we're getting beat, because what it is we can see this carrot. Because what happens is Man United, Arsenal and Tottenham are underperforming big style. Yeah. So they've opened up that 4th spot, and we're the team that stepped up. Where in the past it's been Leicester. And we're focusing too much on that and not the journey that we've been on.
Exactly.
To see how far we've come.
Yeah.
It's always someone sensible.
Yeah, I agree. But listen, I think what it is, Nigel, I think what it is, mate, because I've done me level 1 coaching badge, right? I like to be a little bit more analytical.
So you can teach 10-year-olds.
I like to be a little bit more analytical with things. Right? And I know what it is. Now you are right? We shouldn't criticise. We shouldn't criticise too much, and you don't criticise, but and you rarely do. You rarely criticise. But even you must look every now and then. You must look at the way that we set up and think, could do it a little bit differently, maybe.
I don't know, because at the moment I think we're hampered by personnel.
Yeah.
Now that's a
It's
different
the skill
question.
set of the individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we've got Antonio. I said to someone before, I was watching during lockdown, I watched a lot of sport, and I found myself watching Derby versus Nottingham Forest from 5-6 years ago, the Brian Clough Trophy. And Stuart Pearce was Nottingham Forest manager, and Antonio was playing for Forest. Now they had a 20-minute highlight of the game. They didn't mention Antonio once, and Forest won the game. Yeah,
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So you think, well, I was looking forward to it. I see Antonio in the team. You're thinking, oh, I wonder what he was like at Forest.
Yeah.
Anonymous, bloody hell.
And you're thinking, well, has he had 2 good years, and that's it, and now he's reverted to type?
Yeah.
No, he was quite a good lower league striker or winger.
He was, and they looked
When we signed him, I was actually really excited we signed him because I thought this is the sort of player West Ham fans are going to love. Now I'm worried he's going to be the scapegoat.
I used to have a boss who was a Forest fan, and he loved Antonio. He loved him when they sold him to us. So I think maybe. But I think V-Man has got a very good point here. Exactly what you just said, Nigel. I think, and this is what I firmly believe, because I don't think you can beat having the experienced back line who are not only focused on defending and keeping the opposition out, but they're focused on moving the ball forward into midfield and doing the other stuff as well, attacking down the left, attacking down the right. Don't forget, we've had Johnson in place of Soufal. We've had Arthur in place of for the last several weeks. It has been a makeshift.
Do you know one
is Arthur, isn't it? In the left back position.
I think we started to fall to pieces.
Well at right back.
Yeah,
and Dawson and Diop, they've done okay. They are good defenders, and they've done well when they've come in. It's only Arthur who's really let the side down at left back. And
the only thing I'd say to that
is rely on our attacks going down the left.
During this season, we've had sort of 2 teams playing. We've had the cup teams and we've had the league teams. And the cup teams, the cup players, a lot of the cup players are basically playing the league games now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I'll go down the bottom. There you go. Go on.
They were winning. They were winning the cup games. Yeah. So
holding everyone up.
They're not as bad as people sort of think they were, or they were performing well then.
Do you think I've said this on and off for weeks, and I get shouted down as too optimistic, right? It is purely, in my opinion, a case of Moyes is overachieving with what he's got, and the fans' expectations. And I'm a fan, but a lot of fans' expectations have just gone far too soon.
Yeah.
And there's nothing
Why
wrong.
not dream big though?
No, because I'll tell you why. Because when you lose, you don't enjoy the ride. And this is some of the stuff I'm saying is, if we lose, I can shrug my shoulders and go, all right, let's see who's coming next. Let's see if we because I'm going to enjoy the ride. Because I'll tell you what, in 3 years' time, and the evidence is there as Leicester, this club will slip. We will slip back down. Aston Villa have been up there. Everton have been up there. All these teams have knocked on the door. No, Newcastle for a period were knocking on the door.
Right. The results have raised the standards.
And what will happen is we will be caught up by those teams at some point. I'm not saying this season. I'm saying
it will
season
happen.
or the season after. So I'm intending to join.
But you know what I've got now? What I've got, Nigel, I haven't got delusion. I know that we don't belong where we are.
It was so scary.
But I know that we don't belong in that top 4, and that's half the battle. Half the battle is I haven't felt comfortable once in the whole time I've been up there. It's like I've got imposter syndrome on behalf of West Ham.
Yeah,
I feel like people are coming for us all the time. I don't know. It's really
the
weird.
mad thing about it is once we hit 4th spot, our form seems to have deserted us. And we
once we started singing "We Are Massive" everywhere we go, that's when we went wrong.
I don't like that song.
Oh, shut up! You hate that song. It's a joke. It's tongue in cheek.
I'll tell you what. I wish it was a joke.
Other teams don't see it like that. They don't see it.
What's that?
The other teams don't see that, do they? They don't. The fans don't see that.
Yeah, but it's the same as when we say we won the World Cup in '66. We know it wasn't just West Ham, but we say it because it winds people up as well more than anything else.
Yeah, but John, then the club went and built a statue of the World Cup winners. Yeah. West Ham were the only football club that had a statue of a player that never played for West Ham.
No,
Everton.
No, they built a statue of the European Cup winners.
Now, hold up, let's go back. At one point, West Ham's phone number ended in 1966.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
tell me, yeah, but that it was a joke. We know the other clubs won, yeah, because the problem is it started off as a joke when we used to go to the fans. They'd sing "You won fuck all," and we'd go back to them. Well, we won the World Cup. The problem with it is the club thought they'd be in with the fans, picked it up and run with it, and they, in my opinion, made us look mugs with it. By doing all that.
Yeah,
we should have had that European Cup Winners' Cup statue at the Boleyn.
And even like West Ham have won nothing since.
Well,
that's it. You know, is what
here he is. Look, here he is. Oh, Sean, look, roll on Wednesday. He's coming on for the review on Tuesday. Going to get lasagna back out, Sean.
Nick, it's called a preview before a game.
Preview.
Jesus Christ, every week.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. Well, I'll tell you what we are going to do. I'll say, Danny, give us your thoughts on the game, mate, from what you saw of it, because what did you think?
It seemed very on our end. It was very clunky. Really, not necessarily stagnant, but we were playing just to avoid a bad result. It seemed like
absolutely, yeah.
It's not that I don't know if it was lack of effort or if they just weren't lined up well enough tactically. There wasn't enough balls to the, you know what I mean, to the overall attitude that the players had when it came to actually keep, retaining possession and at the very least try and mount some sort of an attack instead of kicking around the ball about in our own half and just hoping that nothing bad happens. It seemed like not everybody, but for the most part, everyone was playing scared. And I don't think Antonio's legs have gone or anything, but I mean, the guy's been playing a lot of football. That's a lot of minutes he's been playing on those hamstrings. And we definitely need a striker.
Did you notice Antonio liven up though when we moved him away from the striker position? I'm not saying he was any better, but he livened up.
Yeah, better. He did not like he didn't like come alive or anything, but I saw a little bit more. I think
he's dying up front. The way that Moyes is playing him as that target man with his back to two big
doesn't work for him.
It's not working.
No,
it's not working. And we didn't use him like that before. If you remember, Antonio, he was a player that he could make I know, as you said the other day, Gary, he can make a bad ball good and it can make a good ball bad. He's capable of both. But he's that player. You can launch a hopeful ball into a channel. Antonio will get him in a leg race with someone. That's what you want to do with Antonio, and I almost feel sorry for him.
He's a chaotic player. He likes to create chaos in the box. And
let's give a bit of credit as well. Let's give a bit of credit as well to the opposition. Birmingham, I like to say it. Arsenal did play well. They got their tactics bang on.
They were brilliant. I think they're the best team we've played this season, to be fair.
Yeah.
Performance-wise, yes. That could have easily been 4-0.
Yeah.
Right. So
okay. Should we move on to the news? Are we all done with that? Have we?
I'm only here with a quiz.
No, we're all
that'll be coming soon.
Don't worry, Nigel. I'll wind you up with the news. So we're all right.
Look at that.
Here we go, Gary. Are you ready?
Yeah, going.
And now for our Claret and Booze news. Well, Hammer's news, not the rest of the shit that we don't care about. Being delivered expertly and succinctly, that's easy for you to say, by our very own Gary.
Thank you very much. I'm always moved by that introduction. Welcome to Claret and Booze Christmas news. 3 big festive stories tonight. We'll start by talking about COVID versus football. Nice cheerful one to start us off, just to get you in a good mood. Then we'll talk about the festive gifts given to all the top 6 clubs, apart from Tottenham, who are off with COVID, by way of freebie penalties. Finally, let's celebrate the new year by asking the question, where do we go from here? But first, on to story number 1. Is COVID beating football? So starting with Spurs and their COVID outbreak, they infected the league, by the way, I blame them. Slowly but surely, most Premier League teams have suffered a significant number of COVID infections, leading to games being postponed, and tomorrow the entire fixture list abandoned. The clubs will meet with the Premier League on Monday and decide whether or not to abandon the whole December schedule to get all clubs back into a decent COVID-free state. By all accounts, up to 70%, this surprised me, up to 70% of Premier League players have not been vaccinated. Not sure why this is, but it suggests it'll spread like wildfire once it's 1 or 2 players in the squad. For us, a break until the end of December could be a godsend. It could be brilliant, just as we're in the middle of a bit of bad form and a ton of injuries. Also, our January schedule consists of 4 games at the moment, so we could end up having 7 in January instead. So not that bad compared to the 9 we were supposed to be playing in December. But is COVID winning? Is this going to happen every year like Christmas? Do you agree with the break until January? And most importantly, do you think we're going to be banned from stadiums again sometime soon? And I'm going to give that to a choice of guests. I'm going to give that to Nigel. Go on.
I think the way the country's lining up, it wouldn't surprise me if there's some type of lockdown coming for January. I think they're desperate not to screw over Christmas, but between Christmas and January the 1st, I think there'll be a lockdown. I mean, the problem you got with London is that 35% of Londoners have not had one vaccination.
Yeah.
If you start playing football games, if you imagine at Christmas there's loads of football games going on at the same time, you could have 100,000 people more trundling around London, the transit system, trains and everything. And, as someone that's just got over it, it ain't something that you really want to catch. And I think common sense says, realistically, the thing is, we've got 5 games cancelled now tomorrow, and I am pissed off because it was my first game back. So, but there's 5 games are going to be played, isn't it? Where you think, actually, wouldn't it be fairer if they just went for 2 weeks, we're going to shut down, but after that, no matter what happens, the games will go ahead. And I think if the Premier League could have, or whole of football could have a fire break for a couple of weeks and say to the clubs, get yourselves in order, get your bubbles going again. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I know it's a bit harsh of lives and everything, but when you're paying someone 100 grand, 50 grand a week, go live in a bubble for a month or 2 months while you ride this out, because you'll still pick your wages up. It's the poor sods that ain't going to go to work, Yeah.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because those bubbles, they were like, when we had the no fans in the stadium, there was no COVID at all amongst the teams, was there? The protocol was obviously followed down to the letter, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, but and this is the thing. All the bubbles are stopped, even though I know there's still restrictions on who can go where, and not in the stadiums, but like there's not a lot of cross contamination between first team and non-first team people and stuff like that. But the thing is that they're going out, probably the restaurants are going out having meals. They're doing what general people do, and you can't criticise them for that. But at some point, if the clubs want to keep going, they're going to have to put the players back into bubbles. And the best thing to do would be, 2 weeks from Boxing Day, no football.
Yeah.
And then start again with the FA Cup, get everyone in bubbles and allow it to blow through. Test. Keep testing every other day, the players, and see how you get on. Keep them in the bubble then for the rest of January.
Yeah.
If you want football to continue, the problem you get is if there's no football, Sky and BT are holding their hand out, going, "Come on in, we'll have it back," because they're about to show 30 to 40 games in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And what about the January window? All these games that have been cancelled, the teams that have cancelled the games, they're going to get better players in January. The rearranged fixtures, it's not going to be the same teams.
Yeah, so it should be a blanket. Everybody stops. Everybody has the same opportunity.
But when they replay the games, they're not going to have the same squad as when the original fixture was set.
Oh, yeah.
It's an interesting point.
Gives guys
that.
time to come back from injuries.
Yeah, but if everybody has a 2-week shutdown, rather than
Newcastle could go out and buy Mbappe, for argument's sake, they could go out and spend 300 million quid on players that weren't there.
I know, but
before
somebody's got to give that.
But what are we talking about? 2 league games there?
Yeah. I think, Chris, the other COVID victim, so Nigel, you've been a victim of COVID. Chris, you've been a victim of COVID as well. What do you think? You're on mute, Chris.
It's bad.
Come off mute, Chris.
It's still affecting him
Hello.
today.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, no, it's still my long COVID is on my throat. That's serious as well. I do think the circuit break of at least 2 weeks is what we need, because I think it's at the moment that all of the teams are going to go out of sync so badly.
Yeah,
and I think it's it could end up killing us. We might think we're going to have a nice break now, but then we're going to have all those games are going to get bunched up into January or February, and then we're going to get into Europe in March and all that kind of thing. So I do think for the safety of us and the safety of the players, and just break it for either a week or two.
With the World Cup as well next year, though.
Yeah, this time next year.
Season later than planned.
That's funny because the World Cup's in November, right? It's in November.
There's a January
season later.
And the first game is around Christmas, isn't it?
Every Premier League club has a 2-week break in February, but what they do is they stagger it. So 10 clubs will have one set of 2 weeks. Next 10 will have another 2 weeks. So the TV companies keep Premier League football going just on a lower level. You could scrap that.
Yeah.
You could scrap that 2-week break and pick up the games then.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the season needs to finish at the end of May to allow the players to have a bit of a rest, because they're going to go again early in August to allow for the January shutdown because of the bloody World Cup.
Yeah. You say that. Look, Sean loves a conspiracy theory. Look, no games live on Sky Sports this weekend. Been called off. It's like they have some kind of influence on the fixtures.
Well, yeah.
You know,
all the Sky Sports games are on.
For me as a football fan, obviously as you lot are as well, but I love nothing more than the festive period of fixtures. I love it. You know, taking my son, going to the Boxing Day game, New Year's Day game, and all that. Even I, before this game was called off tomorrow, even I was second thinking whether I should go, because I'm taking my boy into that environment, and if it's as bad as I'm told, you know, I'm double jabbed. I feel like I'm okay. I probably would have gone on my own.
Yeah. I just had my third jab yesterday, and I've been like,
how's your arm?
It doesn't mean I'm not going to get it. I know Nigel was double jabbed. He got it. I understand you can get it no matter how many jabs you've had.
Right.
But what I'm saying,
I've never had it, but
but as a father, you think, should I be taking my son into this environment?
Yeah.
Really? I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But John, you can do it safely. So this Saturday, what I was planning to do, which was a thing, but because I was desperate to go, was that I was going to drive. I was going to get to the stadium for 1 o'clock. Yeah. So the turnstiles open at 1:30, no queues. I was going to go in, grab a beer, stand separately, go upstairs, sit in my seat for an hour, read the programme, watch the game, let the crowds go, then walk back to my car. No pubs, no bars, no supporters club, no nothing. And then that way, because at the end of the day, I do enjoy the pub and the supporters club and everything else. But the reason I'm going out is to watch a game of football.
Yeah.
But
our stadium is definitely one of the safest as well. You know, as somebody that goes to every other one in the country. Yeah. But you know, stadiums like Leeds and Newcastle are absolutely filthy.
I mean,
very low ceilings and everything, and ours is so much better.
That's where you got COVID, Chris.
I got it from Leeds.
Yeah, that was you and Gary Stewart went to the Leeds game away, and you were all in a scrum at the bar, right? And
it was ridiculous.
COVID, didn't you?
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, madness. And I'll tell you what, you just said that little plan, Nigel. I'm going to copy that plan because I might add an FFP2 mask
because they're not playing.
I'm going to add an FFP2 mask into it, so as I protect myself a little bit. But that's what I'm gonna take that plan. I do drive to the game anyway, but I don't get there well early and get to the ground early.
I know a good place to park, depending where.
Where'd you go? I go here east.
Can I just point out I will not be public on air because I don't want everyone to go there.
Tell me after, Nigel. Tell me after.
I was going to say there's no way that John's going to sort of adhere to that plan, Nigel, because he's a type black cab driver. I mean, he'd have to buy his son some food.
Yeah, true. What are you talking about? I drive every week. I know. Listen, if you need to know where to park, I know all the restrictions.
But we're not allowed to park on a rank.
No, nor do I. I know loads of places, mate. Don't you worry. If you need me, call me.
John will be driving his son there with a meter on.
Yeah, he will be. Charges him to get out.
He's 10 years of age.
I might need some hints on parking shortly because my daughter's about to buy a car, which means that her parking space in Bow, that's it. It's going to be occupied by her car.
Yeah, here East car park.
I'll be asking you again. Yep.
Get the old
if
permits,
you go to
Chris.
here,
Get
East,
the
you-
residence
I've done here
permit.
East a few times. It was
yeah,
expensive.
it's the
though.
best one. It's nice. You walk down the canal, couple of pubs. You
Mate,
can, you
there's
know,
nearer than that.
There's got to be better. It was expensive as well. I got stung for 20 quid.
Nigel probably knows a geezer who works in Westfield or something.
I think I pay about £4.50 for 4 hours or something like that.
Oh, I'll pay a tenner. I'll pay a tenner in here, East.
Where do you park, Nigel, for God's sake?
No, don't tell him, Nigel. Let's keep it a secret.
I'll tell you, I park.
I'm recording this. I'll get Google to read it.
Oh, you can lip read.
Google
You'll
lip
know
read,
where. When I tell
Google
you where
lip
I
reader.
park, you'll go, like you local boys will go, oh, yeah, I forgot that was there.
John Minnie sat there, though.
Right,
Now
I know
I know.
exactly what
Now
you're
I
talking
know.
about now.
Now
I know
I
exactly
know.
what
Like
you're
football,
talking about.
and
Yeah,
like Vicky
Yeah.
Park, and I used to park.
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Oh, right. I know what you mean now. Yeah.
I'll tell you later, Dan.
Right. Have we had
Hey,
enough?
Nige, send John the postcode because he don't know his way around. He'll have to put it in his sat nav.
Has anyone want to comment on COVID before we move on to number 2? Story number 2.
So
Don't
me
get
living
it.
here, I
Over
see
there.
what COVID's been doing to the NFL, like American football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4% of the league has tested positive just this week.
Oh, bloody hell.
Well, they've got better
yeah.
players per team.
So teams have traditionally about 53-man rosters.
Jesus.
Like that's quite a large squad. And on top of that, you used to get a 10-man practice squad, which is like the equivalent of your reserves or your academy.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Doesn't really work that way here, but they've allotted them additional roster spots, practice squad spots to be able to combat this. But unlike the Premier League, the commissioner of the National Football League here is kind of standing firm. Like these games are going to be played when they were written.
A lot of players have been cut, haven't they? Because they're not jabbed.
There's protocols and there's different rules for players that are jabbed and those that aren't.
Yeah.
So the Dolphins actually had 4 players that all play the same position test positive in the same week. 3 were vaccinated, and because of the rules, they were able to, if they tested negative twice in 24 hours before the game, which is in 2 days, they'd be eligible to practice, which that's happened today because they were vaccinated. So I don't know. There's a lot of there's a lot that I don't understand.
And I've heard that what a lot of NFL clubs are doing are separating the vaccinated and the unvaccinated.
They're not being separated. They can't work out together. They can't. They've got to be masked
together
when they're like they've got to have a face covering when they're inside team facilities.
Yeah.
They can't go out like clubbing and partying, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
They've got a different set of rules essentially to try and limit the spread of it within a dressing room and to try and play these games when they're going to be played. It's a little different. The season in American football is only 17 games, not 38. So
it takes twice as long, though, didn't it?
What's that?
It might be only 17 games, but it takes twice as long.
Don't you not the NFL?
It really does. It really does.
It's the same amount of hours as 38 league games.
It really is. And you know what?
I went to the NFL game at Spurs. It was superb.
Yeah, the average time that the ball is even in play in that sport during a game is about 9 minutes.
I've seen that stat or something similar.
I didn't know
I
that.
went to the very first NFL game in this country. It was a friendly between the Washington Redskins and the Chicago Bears. And it sort of put me off American football for a few years. Because what it is we had only ever seen highlight shows. Yeah. This was before any live coverage. And our highlights were on a Sunday night, a week after the games had been played.
On Channel
4.
Yeah.
So you didn't see all the boring stuff in between all those scores.
It's two-stop start for me.
They brought over the Fridge and Walter Payton and the Washington Redskins. I forgot who there. Joe Elway, was it? Or was he Denver? He was Denver.
Joe
Those
Theismann.
Broncos, yeah.
Yeah, so they brought the Redskins over, and we thought, me and my mates, let's go to Wembley and watch it. And we're standing on the terraces, and we're waiting, and they've stopped, and we're looking, and they're like going, "Oh, they're having an advert break in America," and we're all looking at each other, going, "What?" And like 3 hours into the game, we're thinking, like, "Oh, mate,"
And you're in the fourth quarter barely, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I took my missus to the Giants against the Dolphins, which the Giants won, Dan, which was the first NFL real game at Wembley. And my missus couldn't believe that the last 2 minutes took 30 minutes.
Oh, wow. My God.
And she was waiting for me on the concourse because she'd give up. She said that last 2 minutes took half hour. I said, well, that's the game, isn't it? That's the game.
I'll tell you what, we've got a decent percentage of NFL fans in it tonight.
Yeah.
Mike's a big NFL fan as well, aren't you, Mike?
Yeah,
I keep seeing a Dolphins fan at West Ham games, road and away. So this guy
no, I'm a Patriots fan, unfortunately.
What's the
Glory Hunter.
No, not at all. That's from when the Bears were the big team in 85, 86. I supported the Patriots just because they were called New England when I was at school. That was it. Yeah. They were rubbish.
Well, my mum used to have an office in New York with her business, so I used to get all the New York Giants and Yankees stuff.
Have you got
everything?
Have you got a second shed full of all that stuff?
Well, no, I'm just looking
for it.
I've got in the 80s they did a collectible folder. So every week you bought the magazine and put it in a binder of American football teams.
I have one in my closet.
And I've still got the only thing I didn't keep was we used to get a little helmet as well.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. I managed to keep all collection. I've still got it somewhere.
Nick's got one. Have you still got your little helmet, Mike?
No, I grew out of that.
You should see Nick's helmet. Nick's helmet is massive.
I've got a massive helmet.
When I was saying it, I was just thinking, should not have said that.
No wonder your wife got dear.
Right. Okay. Let's move on to news story number 2. Right. On Wednesday, we saw Vladimir Sufal ridiculously get sent off and a penalty awarded to Lacazette and Arsenal. Though the pen was beautifully saved by Fabianski, Arsenal got 2 helping hands in one go. At half-time, me and Nick said they've been throwing themselves down every time they got into the box, and if they do the same in the second half, kicking towards their own fans, the ref will give him a penalty. And he did, irrespective of whether or not you think it's a penalty. I'm telling you now, this is my honest opinion. We would not have got that penalty if it was down the other end. And the way Lacazette screamed and rolled over 50 times was disgraceful. This is on top of last weekend where we saw Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United and Man City all given dubious penalties. Spurs are the only ones in the so-called Big Six who haven't benefited from a helping hand this week, and that's because they're the ones who gave the league COVID. Evening, Sean. Earlier this week, I saw Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV admit that the big teams... Whose dog's that?
You mentioned Spurs. Set him off.
Right. Earlier this week, I saw Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV admit that the big teams do get given decisions. In his mind, imagine what would happen if the ref, if he doesn't give Ronaldo that penalty. It'd be handed all week, get grief from his bosses. So he does the easy thing. But if Norwich get denied a penalty, everyone's forgotten it by the following day. Now, it might hurt to hear that, but it's definitely true, and it has been for years. We're competing on an uneven playing field. The referees are largely weak, and factor in the possible ramifications for them as an individual into the penalty shouts, amongst other things. Many of them just play ball and comply with what's expected of them. But surely football's worth more than that. VAR was supposed to change it, but it doesn't. It seems to just help the big clubs. So I'm going to select. I'm going to go to John for you on this one. Do you agree with Robbie that this just happens and we've got to live with it, or will it ever change? Will we get our football back?
I think not for want of saying there's like a conspiracy theory or as an unjust bias or whatever you want to call it. I think in recent weeks, and if I think, my take on the Sufal tackle the other day and penalty, But if you look at that, where that was given, a dubious one, yeah, we've done a vote on here and it was 50-50, right?
Yeah.
It went against us, rightly or wrongly. But when you go back to Sunday, when Dawson was literally hacked in the box, and then you had commentators saying basically that he didn't have the ball under control, so it does. I mean, I'm like, what is that absolute nonsense? I think that in some ways, I think a lot of the referees do have an inferiority complex. We know that the Wengers and the Fergusons ain't there anymore putting pressure on it. But like you said, the media will talk about penalties that ain't been given to Chelsea, Arsenal, Man U, more than they will talk about penalties that aren't given to the lesser clubs.
Yeah.
So as much as I'm not a fan of Robbie from AFTV, I actually agree with him on this. And for him to say it, being an Arsenal fan, is very, I suppose, apt for me, considering what happened on Wednesday night. There is a sense of a lot. If you look now, I think a lot of the, Man United used to get a lot of stick for their players hounding referees back in the late 80s, early 2000s. But I think now you're seeing it the other night when Soufal allegedly elbowed Tierney in the face. The Arsenal players were calling for a red card. It seems to be coming more. It's like it's coming back again. That the top teams' players hounding referees again. And there is an argument that we're probably too nice and we're not as good at that. Whether we want to be good at that is another question. But
no, man.
No, we don't.
Do you remember talking about this stuff so much before social media, though?
What's that?
This stuff, like the penalties and the at the games, all that sort of thing.
No, we don't. But also, we didn't talk about it as much until now VAR's there. So when you think about a decision as being seen,
I think we did. I think we always talked about it before VAR.
Yeah, but you had to.
That was supposed to eradicate it.
Yes, exactly. But that makes it worse.
It hasn't.
You went to work on a Monday morning. You all had the debate, and you had to live with it. Now you have to live with it. But in my mind, I'm thinking there's a ref on the pitch. There's a VAR ref in the studio somewhere, and how are they still getting?
So are the people in the VAR box wrong?
No,
should they have a different set of people? Not a ref, like a player, an ex-player, a manager, an ex-manager, that sort of thing.
Probably, yeah. Someone who's played the game at a high level.
Yeah. No, but you can't because you've got to know the rules of the football.
Well, no,
you've got to know the rules. You've got to know the rules of the football the way a referee does. Yeah, because ex-players are going to be looking at that and going, oh, he touched the ball. But then when they go back and look at the laws of the game, as a referee will sit there, and that's why you now have the Graham Poles, the Peter Waltons and all that sitting in studios as well, because they'll go, well, actually, no, if you look at the laws of football.
But
and to be
when
able
they
to,
do a
to be able
review
to
of a red card, they've got an ex-manager, an ex-player, and an ex-ref to overturn the
But the ex-ref is there, isn't he?
Yeah, so but they've got an ex-player and an ex-manager there to overturn the cards.
Well, yes, I can see that.
Especially
but
on you.
With VAR.
Yeah, but the problem is VAR's rules themselves are what are wrong. So that particular incident on Wednesday night,
I agree with that.
there were two incidents that were together, and the VAR did not allow you to go back and retrospectively change the Soufal. It only allowed you to change the penalty.
If it was
ridiculous, the penalty and the foul are inextricably linked.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. What is in my mind? You're looking at they're looking at decisions now through two different sets of eyes, and not always, but they shouldn't be getting any of them wrong, no.
But John, it's wrong in your opinion. In my opinion, it was right.
No, but it's not. No, but it's not. But
it is.
You think it's wrong.
A lot of these decisions. The thing is, a lot of these decisions, they're subjective, aren't they? You know, everyone's going to have a different view on it. I mean, that Soufal one, for instance, the Soufal one. I mean, we're split in this room here, more or less.
Yeah,
more or less 50-50. And even if you listen to professionals, pundits, they're split. So it's going to be really difficult for people.
But that's because the actual incident itself was split. You had Soufal and the actual yellow card, and you had the penalty. And so those two incidents, because they were looked at separately, we're arguing about two different things, because I think we've all agreed that we thought it was a foul, but we didn't think it was a yellow card.
No,
but the two things are totally together.
Goal scoring opportunity. Denying a goal scoring opportunity is an automatic yellow card.
Well, that he wasn't awarded that. He was given a second yellow. So a goal scoring opportunity. We're arguing the same thing.
Yeah.
So I basically think is the VAR engagement rules need to be rewritten. And there's one other point as well. I don't think it's fair that referees themselves aren't interviewed and allowed to explain their decisions, because that would take a massive amount of heat out of
They
it.
don't have the big enough kahunas to do that.
But does that happen?
go a
Where
long
does
way,
that
I agree.
happen? I've seen referees interviewed. Is it Germany somewhere?
In the NFL, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They interview
All the
refs
time.
The
somewhere.
referee will explain this is why this call was made.
Well,
It happens in
rugby
hockey,
union, it
happens in
happened.
American sports.
So getting back to the original story or question that Gary came up
Sure.
with, do any of you lot like it? You know, we could have that victim syndrome that people say. Some of us are probably getting a little bit now, right? That we sound like, you know, the world's against us. I don't sound like the world's against us because
You
no,
You
We
do.
do. We do.
no, I'm not. But when you look at it, I don't think the world's against us, but when you look at some of the decisions the bigger teams are getting, look at some of the penalties they've won in recent weeks. Some of them are questionable, no? The
It's
Salah
the power
one.
of social
No.
media, though. Isn't it?
They are, but
It's
do you know what?
not the power of social media during
It
the game.
is.
The decisions are made during the game.
In the 80s, no one would have given a shit because it would have been done, gone, done.
No, but
Now
do you know?
highlighting it, everyone gives a shit about it.
Yeah, but do you know what I think? My take is that I think referees, they are, look, the rules of the game stipulate if somebody's touched in the box and they go down, it's a penalty. You know, that's the rule. So it's almost it is that cut and dry. When you look at I'll go back to the Liverpool game, right? The Aston Villa one where Salah's dive, where he threw his legs in between Tyrone Mings, and then the referee eventually gave that. Prior to that, Robertson and Mane in the same game in the first half, they attempted dives as well. It was the same sort of thing. These teams, they're so good that they spend the majority of the game in the opposition fucking penalty box. They're constantly there. They're that good. They're always in possession. They're always going at you, and they're doing it all game. It ain't like the referees are giving every single decision. It's just that basically these teams, it'd be like us, you know. If we play, when you play against Arsenal, we're inviting them into our box all the time.
It's fine margins though. The teams don't expect to get given.
Statistically, they're going to get more chances of a
They
penalty.
are. They
in
are
our
gonna
box
get
more
more.
of the time.
That was the point I was going to make about the reason why big subs get penalties is because they attack more.
They attack more. They
That's-
do.
Yeah.
They do.
Statistically,
Yeah.
they're in
No, I
the
agree with
penalty
that.
box
Yeah.
more.
It's a fair point. It's a
than
fair
everybody
point,
else.
but does attacking more
Damn you with
make you
logic.
deserve a penalty? You know what I mean? To me, it doesn't.
No, of course it does, because statistically they're going to be in your box
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
So
But that's like
statistically,
giving-
there will be.
Someone's in Gary's what? Oh.
But that's like giving 3 points for that's like giving 3 points for possession stats, right?
Well, no, but it's just
For their
that's-
possession
it
stats in
will-
the
it will
actual
happen.
penalty area.
It will happen. You know, there will be at some point a bad challenge made. And
You
the
say
ones they got to stamp out in is the ones where I see. I don't know if it was in the Leicester game or whatever, where it's the habit forwards have of
I know what you're
putting
gonna
their
say.
leg into the defender,
yes.
and this is what I can't believe VAR's not picking up on.
100%.
Salah, Harry Kane, they are masters of actually. I mean, even the
Embellishing.
Lacazette, when I played football, whatever, I was always taught try and ride the challenge.
Yeah.
at it. I'll
But
put the-
now
the
they're
evidence,
told
the evidence. Yeah.
do not ride the challenge. They're actually playing for the contact and playing
they are.
for the penalty.
are.
And that's why the defenders, though, and that's why we'll go back to Kufal, need to be a bit more clever.
It was a
But
sloppy
then the odds are always stacked against the defender.
Yeah, so
No
therefore,
one's-
but
because
he
no
knows
one's
that
pulling
walking
up
onto
the
the pitch.
striker.
But
Huh?
Kufal should know that walking onto the pitch, that the odds are stacked against him. So when the people are in the penalty area, then it'd be
Yeah,
a bit
but-
clever.
Yeah,
John,
but
you'd have been giving away.
happening.
You'd have been giving away 10 penalties a game, mate. If you was playing now, you would.
Nah, the referee would have petrified.
This
the ball.
started happening in the
You
late
wouldn't have been off
80s.
after two.
This started happening in the late 80s, early 90s when I think it was Liverpool. I can't remember. There was a player in particular. I think it was a Liverpool striker who started leaving his leg in.
Johnny
Um,
Orr.
You know, and he just fell over the keeper. So he deliberately run into the keeper,
Aldridge.
leave his leg in. Who was it?
It was definitely Aldridge. Yeah.
Johnny
I
Aldridge.
think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was Aldridge. Yeah, and it's become an art form, and that's the problem. It's an art form that the referees have to deal with. The referees should be wise to it. They should be wise to it by now.
But there's a
This happens
famous
every
West
week.
Ham
It's
game.
not a freak
Yeah.
occurrence, right?
20 years ago, we all know the Bradford game. Yeah, we must have
Yeah.
all seen it and everything.
Yeah.
Di
Yeah.
Canio, 3 Stonewall penalties.
Yeah.
West Ham
Yeah.
got a penalty in that game. Paul Kitson. Look at the challenge that Paul Kitson got. Paul Kitson got leant on and fell over, and the ref gave a penalty. It was the weakest challenge out of all of them. Yeah, and the ref gave the penalty.
And in that game, on Match of the Day later, in that game, right, when they were talking about it, remember it as if it was yesterday, all they done was focus on Di Canio's reaction because he wanted to come off the pitch, right? Not the fact that we had 3 stonewall fucking penalties, because they were.
Or that we got one when actually Kitson fell.
Can I just say, though, I'm not angry with the referee on the pitch being conned, if you like. That's not my issue. My issue is that someone is looking at the very replay that we're looking at, where he can see what you was talking about, Nigel, was Madison. Madison touched the defense.
That was a
the Leicester. Yeah, that's the one.
Going on that, John, and going back to the NFL, they very, 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 very rarely get an NFL call wrong that goes to New York, do they, Danny?
Not so much that. Like the Dolphins actually beat him last week, but
with a call, like when it goes to New York, like for the with the reviews, any touchdown, anything goes to New York for.
You're talking. Oh, that's right. Like to
they very, very rarely get those decisions wrong.
Very rarely do they get them wrong. So they have like a sort of a grandmaster that is like the last. The last guy to answer for that kind of stuff.
And I'll tell you what, the same in rugby and the same in cricket. The same in cricket. It goes to the off-field referee, and they generally get the decision right because it's a different set of rules, right? What it is with VAR, they've done this contrived set of rules where the referee says,
"I can't take you seriously with that out on Gary."
No, the referee says, "I saw this and I saw that," and then all the VAR referee has got. All his job is to confirm that did indeed happen. They don't make a decision on whether it was a penalty or not, right? It's ridiculous. We seem to have fucking skewed the rules to fit, so the on-field referee, whatever decision they get, as long as they saw what they saw, it's still a penalty. And I think what Sean says, this is our lasagna-loving mate, Sean Webber. Hold on. Refs don't talk to players with any respect. Audio. I would love to hear. I'd love to have that.
I think he's got that the wrong way round. Players don't talk to refs.
Yeah, they don't do mic'd up in the.
I'd love to hear that.
They did it once.
They did it with Tony Adams once years ago. Remember that?
Yeah.
He was like sucking on helium, wasn't he?
Yeah. But they have the microphones in rugby union.
Yeah.
And the NFL.
And the rugby union players don't say a word. Like
they really ought to take a leaf out of rugby union's book, because it took about 4 or 5 years to get it up to speed, but they have nailed it now, and it wasn't instant. Let me tell you something: the TCO and everything in cricket and in rugby union took a few years to bed in, but it'll happen. But we need to keep the pressure up, because the rules that they've got in place at the moment are ridiculous. This split up of the decision for Wednesday night was just bizarre.
He's employed throughout the world. But it's up to each individual football association the way they want to enforce it. And I think this is a problem when you get the European and World Cup games, in that the use of VAR is totally different.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, we've got one of the worst refs ever running our referees at the moment. Mike Riley.
I think you're right, Nigel. It's British. It's English specific.
I agree. And I'll tell you what, it's even going off with the audience, right? You've got Neil from Down Under. You're right, Neil. Sofel's tackle in the box.
Gary, can you read that?
He was already on the yellow. 1 minute. And then Kool-Aid H says, Neil, come off it, pal. It's not even a foul, so how can it be reckless? It's going off. It's going off in the comments. VAR even looks at taking the penalty again. Oh, did they? Really?
They did. Fab came a bit forward.
Because of encroachment.
I imagine that.
Don't wind me up, mate. Don't wind me up.
That was true. That happened.
One thing I'd go with
Saka was the first one to touch the ball, and he couldn't have been because he was on.
He was 60 seconds. VAR should have a 60-second clock.
No, I agree. I think 60 seconds is too long. It should be 30 seconds.
Plenty of time, though. Yeah.
And no slow motion. All reviewed in real time.
No, because I think VAR should only be used to. It should be down to the referee. It should be down to the referee. VAR should only be used to overturn something that's clear and obvious. If something is clear and obvious, you'll fucking see straight away if it's clear and obvious.
The other night, right? It shouldn't have been a question of can you confirm that I saw what I saw? That's not the question. The question is that a penalty?
Think?
Yeah, easy, isn't it? Easy. Why is that rule not
Go
exist?
to the screen.
Yeah. Madness.
But when they go to the screen, you know it's going to be overturned. So.
Well, we wouldn't go to the screen. And again, Dermot Gallagher, my new mate, what I read earlier, there was a reason, another technical reason why he couldn't go to the screen. And I don't know what that shit is all about, but they seem to be basically stopping
technology.
VAR. When it came in, believe it or not, Nigel, I welcomed VAR because we were getting all sorts of shitty decisions against us. And I thought this would be a leveler. You remember the Man United player who slid in on one of our players and our player got sent off? Do you remember that? Who was that?
Boogers.
No, a couple of seasons ago at London Stadium.
I always said Boogers should have got sent off.
No, I don't remember that.
Was it
But
one
what
of our
about
defenders?
the Man United ball that went out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that as well. But there was
don't look at things like
No,
that.
but VAR was in play in that game. The problem is VAR don't look along the touchline.
Exactly.
yeah, they
Well,
conveniently said, "Oh, sorry, we don't check."
Why doesn't
we
the
don't
ball
check
have
out
the
of play."
touchline
Yeah.
sensors like it does on the goal line?
Because they
So,
haven't.
so look, we're at the end of story number 2. Any more comments before we move on to number 3 and final?
Yeah, VAR's crap. Get rid of it.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, we'll be
You're not
having
gonna
this
get it right,
argument
get rid
in
of it,
another
yeah.
year.
Wait till the World Cup with what is it called? Super VAR in the World Cup.
I'll tell you what, Gary. Before we do news story number 3, let's get this quiz done because there's people getting impatient. So let's get the quiz done first because it will only take 5 minutes.
That's fine. Go on, you do the quiz.
Who's getting impatient, mate? Sure,
Don't you worry. Come on.
Your show, take charge.
The 10 people watching.
Yeah.
Here we go. Right, are you all on? Nigel, are you on?
No in between his ears.
Do I have to go on the Kahoot or can't I just shout it
No,
out?
Kahoot app.
yeah,
You've got to go on the
Kahoot.
Kahoot app.
Oh, hold up then.
I'll tell you what. Let me do story number 3. It won't take that long.
Oh, fuck.
Get it out of the way. Just tell everybody now. Everybody that's watching.
Get ready.
If you haven't got Kahoot installed, install it. It takes 2 seconds. The Kahoot code is in front of you. Join the quiz. It's easy. It's straightforward. Let me get the news. The
Maximum of 20. We've got 7 in there already, by the way. 8. We've got 8 in there.
Exactly.
I can't even find the
What?
app store on my phone. I've lost
While
it.
you're all doing that, and Nick, this question's going to come to you. I'm going to go to. I'm going to go. Listen, I want my section over, so we're going to go to news story number 3. Final one. First, a statement of fact. We've had a brilliant season so far. We're 5th in the league, in the last 16 of the Europa League, the last 8 of the League Cup.
Amen.
I won't call it a Carabao Cup. It's a League Cup. And to quote the bleeding obvious, and Nick will love this.
Cup.
And to quote the obvious, and Nick will love this. That's Nick. We would have accepted this all day long with both hands before the season kicked off.
Definitely.
But things aren't happy at the moment as they should be. We know that. As our never losing by more than 1 goal record was shattered on Wednesday, it dawned on many of us that we've got a load of injuries. Morale doesn't look at its best, and the squad needs refreshing with 3 or 4 first-team regulars, especially in attacking third, failing to deliver on a consistent basis. Things need to change. We all know that. Now the dust has settled on Arsenal and other recent results, I think we've had time to sit down, mull it over a little bit, and that's exactly what I want to do now with you lot. Do we need new bodies, changes in the team, more use of youth players, different tactics and choice? The choices are endless. So I'm going to give those endless choices to Nick. I'm going to say, Nick, considering all that, what do we think is needed? Where do we go from here? Over to you, Nick.
Right, okay. Thanks for giving me that one, Gal. Throw me under the
No
bus.
problem. No problem.
Yeah, no, look. I think everything that was said in this show so far is right. Yes, we would have if you'd have offered me 5th place and quarter-final of the League Cup and last 16 of the Europa League before the season started. You know, if you'd have offered me that, I would have taken it. Yeah, yeah. And then next week, when you can say, if I'd have offered you 6th place and 7th place, yeah, I understand what you're saying. But you know what? We've had a little taste. We was up there last year. I think that we could compete. I don't think that it's we're a victim of circumstance to a degree. There's certain things that have been outside our control that have kind of halted our momentum, if you like. Not a slide, because it's not a slide, is it? It's and that's what bothers me, because I'll tell you what, if you were to offer me 15th place now and the League Cup, I'd take it. But my worry is
Europa League.
No, any cup.
No, A Cup.
But my worry is that, especially with West Ham, because it's team spirit and everything else, I think we're all or nothing. I think it's all about momentum. And I don't think that we can switch it on and switch it off. I don't think that we can be shit in the league and then go and be good in the cup. Yeah. So I think that we've got to kind of tick over in the league. We've got to be getting good results. We've got to be. I'm not saying we've got to be top 4, because we're not a top 4 team. We was only where we were last year and where we were this year because the bigger teams have been faltering. Right? We are. And I'm not saying that we're never going to get there. Although I will be gutted, because what I will say on that for this is that I do think that our investment in the summer was poor, apart from Zuma, because just like last January, if we'd have brought a striker in, I think we'd have got top 4. I think if we'd have made a few better signings in this summer just gone, I think that we would have been better placed to push on, because those big teams are faltering. And I think that this was an opportunity these 2 years. I don't know when that opportunity is going to come around again. Arsenal are picking up. They're kicking on. Tottenham have got Conte. They're only going to get better. Man United are going to find someone eventually who can use that bottomless pit of money that they've got. It's going to happen. It's going to be very difficult to penetrate that at some point. So we may have missed the boat on that, sadly, I think we might have. But that doesn't mean we'll never get there. But it is a frustration. And it will be even more of a frustration if in this window we have no excuse now. We've got no excuse to not go out and not go and make some good positive signings. And what I'm saying by signing is, Gary, we need a defender because we need a defender. Buying James Tarkowski, we need him. That just sustains us. That doesn't make us better. It sustains us. We need to make signings that improve us as a team. We need a better striker. Yeah, we need a better striker.
We need someone to challenge Antonio.
Not a backup striker. We need
a first team quality.
We need a better striker. I don't want to hear any more of this bollocks from Moyes that he can't find anyone. It's been 18 months now. With all due respect, he let a better striker go than the one that he's kept. He did do that. It doesn't matter whether you like him or not. He's a top striker. He's let him go. Now he's got to go out. He must go and fill that void. I don't care. The only thing that concerns me is I watch one of Stell's shows on West Ham Network.
Oh, that's where you've gone wrong, though, isn't it?
I know, but this does bother me, Nigel. But this does bother me because the stats make sense. No, the stats make sense. And if you go back to Moyes' time at Everton, his strikers were always duffers. The goals always came from midfield. Cahill, Fellaini. That was where the majority of the goals came
Kevin
from.
Campbell.
Leighton Baines.
But the majority of these strikers. Yeah. So and that's what. No. But the thing.
Duncan Ferguson.
Duncan Ferguson.
Yeah, but they weren't.
Wayne Rooney. Yeah.
They weren't strikers, though.
Yeah.
Thomas Richards.
Yeah.
Rooney.
Yeah.
Emma.
Well, look, I'm blaming Stell. He's Ree's fucking stats, not mine.
No, I told you went wrong there, didn't I?
Freddie Jefferson.
Yeah.
Francis Jefferson.
Janet Jackson. But yeah. But no. But what I'm saying is, I do for look, Yelovich, Yakubu, players like that. And the thing is, look, listen, he needs to go out. He needs to improve us as a team in this window. Vlasic, he may come good. I will criticise him as a signing because when Moyes signed him, we needed players to help out our squad now, not for the future. I think Vlasic will come, but he's got to. We've bought him. He's our player now. I think he'll come good. You know, he started slow. We need proven players. So Tarkowski,
I thought he was an alternative to Jesse Lingard.
Yeah, well, he weren't. Yeah, he's not even an alternative. Is he? Really?
No shit. No,
he's not even an alternative.
Okay, listen, right?
It's like saying there's an alternative to Dave Grohl.
So look. So for me, if the season, let me finish because you gave the question to me. So if this season,
so we'll finish.
If this season goes to shit after the transfer window and David Moyes hasn't invested, I will be incandescent with rage.
That is your
If he
favourite.
goes,
You'll be
if he goes
Incandescent.
you'll be
incandescent with rage.
incandescent with rage
If
anyway.
he doesn't, if he doesn't invest, if he doesn't invest, wait,
It's a four-syllable word. He's used a four-syllable word.
If he doesn't if he doesn't invest, if he invests and he tries to add players that same, we try and push on and it don't go to plan, then do you know what? That's fine. But we can't just stick with what we've got and hope for the best because we're now seeing the result. We're seeing the result of what happens.
Next week, it's
good. A lot of good points. Lot of good points there, Nick. So look, I'm looking at all the people who are on here, and I'm going to hand this one next across to Father Jack Hackett.
Go on then.
Go on.
That's you.
Frick.
What we're doing now? We need to sign a striker.
Mike, you've got 10 seconds to make a comment, or you're fucking out. Right, I'm going to pass it on to someone else.
We need to sign a striker. That's it. We need to sign a striker.
A striker.
We need to sign someone who is going to challenge Antonio.
We do need a striker.
Not a backup, not someone who's going to run this wing, that wing. We need a striker.
We know exactly what we need, but the problem I've got lately is that already you're seeing fans question Antonio's desire, call him arrogant. They're calling out Moyes, saying Moyes is as far as he's away.
I've not seen. I don't think Antonio. I think Antonio is shattered.
Yeah, he is.
I feel sorry for
the Mike.
I know you're not. I know you're not, Mike. But what I'm saying is, fans need to be realistic. Fans need to realise he's not
a 20 goal a season striker.
He never has been,
he's a streaker. It's like Yakubu used to be for Pompey. He'll go and score 20 goals in 10 games and then nothing. For 40 games. And
Faguli was the player by Paul. That's brilliant.
I think you're right. And Danny, we ain't heard from you in some time, so go on, Danny.
How you guys doing?
How you doing?
Oh my God, we've got Friends fans on the telly.
I mean, everyone sounds like a broken record at this point. That we need not a serviceable, not competition for Antonio, but a fucking first team quality striker or center forward. We can't sustain this kind of success that we've had that has everybody raising their expectations for the team. Moyes has been overachieving with he's doing a lot with not necessarily very little, but we're overperforming, right? So if we want to be serious about competing with these big dogs, right, you have to build you have to have some fucking depth at that position.
Yep.
It can't just continue. I know it's worked a few times and we've nicked results here and there, and we've slayed some dragons this season.
I think everyone knows Antonio's game. That's it.
Well, but I think Danny's right. I think Danny's right. The depth of squad, we do not have a depth of squad, right? We've got a good first 11 and a couple of other players and a decent B team, which has served us well in the league.
That's our own doing, though. That's our own doing, Gary.
I don't know, Gary. I've seen a lot of people say when they look at the bench this season, go, "Oh, look how strong that bench is this season now."
Yeah, but they are deluded about
Let's talk reality. Let's talk reality, not. Let's talk reality.
This bench is good. But
but
that bench included people like Yarmolenko.
Exactly, Chris. Let's talk reality. We know the reality of the situation, and having the likes of Yarmolenko on the bench, they're going to be worth the square root of fuck all coming onto the pitch in a Premier League game, right? They might be good in Europe, and they might be decent in the Carabao Cup, but they're not going to be good in the Premier League.
This is the best squad in the Premier League we've ever had. Squad.
This is the 11th most valuable squad in the Premier League.
No doubt at all that this is the best squad in the Premier League, because I think we've been fucking brilliant this year and brilliant last year. And what we've done now is with a little bit of a bump in the road and people are losing their shit. And what I read on Twitter the other night was just outrageous.
Exactly.
I mean,
I just need Nick generation, isn't it? That's
it weren't me.
Nigel, my expectations are low. In fact, my expectations are below low. They're down here. They're sub low. I have had
That annoys
many
me.
years.
Why do we have to have no
Like
expectations?
most of you have, including you, Mike. Most of you have had years of fucking misery
Yes,
and
we have.
6 months of good, and then 2 years of crap, or 1
Enjoy
year of good
it
and
then.
5 years of crap. And now we've had a little bit of consistency, and he's all we're doing at the moment. He's just having a wobble. That's all we're doing. We're having a wobble, and most of it is caused because of injuries. You've got to respect the injuries. The injuries have happened.
I agree.
So injuries, people come back from injury. A few players to freshen the squad up. The one thing that bothers me, and I'll be completely honest. The one thing that bothers me is when I look at Antonio on the pitch, he looks unhappy. When I look at most of the other players on the pitch, they look unhappy. That could be with the results or the performance or whatever else, right? Yeah. But the squad doesn't look like a happy camp at the moment. That is my one negative observation. That's my one negative observation.
You only have to go back 2 games.
It's always a bad apple for that reason.
No, hold on a minute. Just go back a week Saturday to when we played Chelsea, and that looked totally different. In between that, we've had Burnley, and then we've had Arsenal.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're where we are because of that.
Right.
We are the 11th place squad in the Premier League at the moment in terms of market value, and I think we've got to remember that.
Yeah, go on, Nigel, go on.
I just think that you have to look at the January window, and the January window is generally the panic buy season. Yeah. So you want it, and at the end of the day, I put a graphic up on Twitter that I'd found of the losses of Premier League clubs before COVID. I think it was like 10-year losses or something like that. West Ham was running at 70 odd million.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, Tottenham made a profit of 325 million. Yeah. So you have to look at this is all pre-COVID. Now we have wiped out the debts in such with the investment given by the new whatever we want to call him, investor into the club, new director of the club.
Yeah.
The problem is that's money to pay off debts. It gives a little bit it frees up money that we would have paid off debts with for the transfer window. It ain't a lot. For me, you got to be looking. We go after Ake or Tarkowski or take either of them. We go after Lingard. I think Lingard, if he can replicate what he done for us, that eases the problem with the goal scoring things. Now the problem Moyes has got is that the way he's played, when he played the tactics that he's trying to play, it didn't work with a top quality striker. Yeah. So that's why if you look in the window last January, he went out and got Lingard.
Yeah,
because he wants the midfielders. He thinks Bowen can do
Nigel, are you calling Haller a top quality striker?
Well, he is a top quality striker because he's proved it in Germany and he's proved it in Europe now and with Ajax and in the Dutch league. He is a top quality striker.
You can't score 10 in the group stages being a mug, man.
I can list you player after the player.
He scored some bangers for us too. So.
But West Ham's been a graveyard of strikers since the first season I went over there. We'd signed an Arsenal legend called John Radford, who was like their record goal scorer for the period that he was there. He joined us. He didn't score 1 goal in 40 games, and he scored 2 on his debut for Blackburn Rovers when we sold him. Yeah. David Kelly, for those that remember, David Kelly turned down Liverpool and Bayern Munich to join West Ham. He scored 14 goals in 18 months. We sold him to Leicester, and I think he got 12 goals in 6 months.
Jesus.
And then transferred.
Talking to David Kelly, right? That season he joined, I remember I read the headline on the back of the Sun on the first day of the season, and it said, new West Ham striker David Kelly has one leg longer than the other.
Yes,
I'm thinking, fucking hell.
Sean just mentioned that. Is that actually he's talking about here? Look, that young kid you brought on last 15 minutes looked good on Wednesday.
Yeah.
He looked confident. He looked very confident.
This is how you find out. This is what's annoying to me a bit is that the way we've discovered young players in the past. Harry Kane was discovered because Tim Sherwood had run out of players, strikers up front, and because he'd had Harry Kane as a youth, he'd been in the youth, he threw him in, and then he scored. And what happened is he kept scoring, and he couldn't be left out.
Yeah.
and that was it. He only got in because of injuries. Some of the best players in our recent years that have come through the academy got their chances because players got injured. The problem you got now is in the Premier League, nobody seems to have the balls to put the youngsters in when we got injuries. I'm hoping that's what he does.
I hope so too. I hope so too. We saw some. I'll tell you what. You know, when we saw the players, and we've done this to death already, talking about Longello was brilliant, and you know, a Lacey was good, and everything else, right? Apparently, Longello is a confidence player, which doesn't fill me with glee, right? So we're knocking him aside, and I now understand why a Lacey was put in the first team squad and everything else. But I would love to see a Lacey establish himself in one of those positions, and
it's a left-footed centre back.
Left-footed centre back.
His chance, hasn't he?
Well, maybe, but probably the backup of the left-footed centre back. So the backup of Diop, because we have no problem at centre back at the moment, as long as we've got those two and they stay fit. But the more games, one of them's going to get injured, right? One of them is.
Yeah. Well, let's hope not. But
scenario, Gary. Okay, let's go.
Well, it's bound to happen at some point. The good news is Zuma's back early February, so we're all right.
How do you know?
Well, according to Stell, when he showed it he done the other day, he's going to be out for the season.
Oh, for God's sake.
Stell always puts a negative spin on things, doesn't he? It's ridiculous.
Well, if you expect the worst and the worst doesn't happen, then you don't feel as shitty. So maybe that's like the benefit of
I do think a lot of fans need a bit of realism, sorry. Like Nigel said, right, we want to go out and buy a striker that's Premier League ready, that's going to be ahead of Antonio. How much money do you think you're going to have to pay for that?
Whatever
25 million quid.
We can't. Look, listen.
Can
I say one thing?
We're not going to spend 50 million pounds.
Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing? And can you?
We spent 56 million pounds on Ben Rama and Vlasic.
Father Jack, 1 minute.
That's a striker.
That's all add-ons.
Listen. Do you
That's
think
a striker?
Fuck's sake! I'm muting him. I'm going to kick you. Do it again. You're out. Right. I'm going to. Right. Listen. What I'm saying is, do you think you can sit? Do you think you can stand still in the Premier League? Do you think that you can literally just maintain your level and stand still?
No,
or do
Nick.
you think you need to try and build and move on,
yes,
or just try and sustain where you are?
Yeah, but Nick, what we want and what we're going to get are two.
I'm only joking, Mike. I'm only joking.
What we want the best players in the world at West Ham, but you've got to be realistic. You know how we buy. We're not going to go out and buy.
Ain't that, but we ain't going to get a top quality striker to come here to sit on the bench. Our bench is never going to be full of players that we can bring in. If Antonio ain't good enough, we've got another top quality striker sitting on the bench. It ain't going to happen because the top quality striker is not going to come here to sit on the bench.
You don't buy him to sit on the bench, though. You don't buy him to sit on the bench.
So what? That's why Antonio on the bench.
Yeah, I would at the moment.
No, but that's why
he needs a fucking rest, though.
We need to bring a striker in who's ready to play, and Antonio scored 1 goal in 13, which ain't a good return for a striker.
He shouldn't have gone on international duty, man. Like that's,
you know, I don't know what to read into that. You know, it's a bit coincidental. It happened after the Jamaica thing, and I don't know. But it
happened after he scored 50 goals as well.
He accumulated a lot of air miles after the Jamaica trip, right? He did Costa Rica. He did all
world,
didn't he?
Scored a worldie for Jamaica.
Yeah, he did.
His first goal wasn't bad either. That
never
kept the goalkeeper. That was badass.
Has he ever scored that?
Never hit it.
No, never.
No, that was his first ever goal outside the box.
Are we obsessing about Antonio to the expense of Fornals and Ben Rama and on the other side, Bowen, even to some extent, I think we're looking at Antonio in isolation, but he's got to have the people behind him.
Do you remember that, Sean? Have a look up in the top right-hand corner, mate. Do you remember that?
It's true. It's true. Antonio loves to score against Spurs, and you know he's coming for you, Sean. He's coming for you. He's coming for you.
What Chris said there is totally right. We're fixating on Antonio, and
I'm not fixated.
Which is what I said earlier. He is going to become the scapegoat.
What's worrying me?
West Ham love a scapegoat, and he is going to be it.
No, but West Ham.
Ben Rama's my scapegoat, mate. Ben Rama's my scapegoat.
But there you go. Look, see, so you know what I'm saying. There is always a scapegoat in a West Ham team. So
it's true.
More people are going to go for Antonio.
Yeah.
It's true
Why
there
does
is.
the
If I
striker
show you,
Not scoring.
Mike, one comment. It's true there's always a scapegoat when things are going badly, but I'll show you one comment from earlier from Eamon Green. No, stop fucking clicking the comments, whoever's clicking them as well. Ian Dowie was the worst striker of me growing up, cutting him elephant's backside of banjo, foot away, blah, 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 right? He got second place in Hammer of the Year because he worked his arse off.
Yeah, exactly. Because he worked his arse off.
Yeah.
I do remember
That's
that.
what
Actually,
And he's a
look.
West Ham fan.
It's lovely to see quality. but
So
if you
good,
don't
we
see
signed
quality-
him twice.
Yeah, I know.
So
He was
good, we signed him twice.
Remember Stockport, Nigel?
Yes.
Yes.
Remember Stockport.
In the rain.
Remember Stockport.
I'm just going to finish off with this, right? The worrying thing for me is that he is. People can say forget all that they want. He's our top ever Premier League goal scorer, right? The
And now
man's
he's gone-
running.
he's
Listen, the
gone
man's
down.
running. The man's run himself into the ground for us, and he's getting slated on social media. People telling you he ain't got the hunger, he's arrogant, and all. It's nonsense. He's come from.
Who
non-league
said he's
football.
arrogant? I want to see
Don't
these
buy
people said he's arrogant.
Yeah.
Mate, I've
not
seen it
seen
all
this
over.
at all.
It's everywhere, mate. He's come from non-league football and he's arrogant. Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no, there is, Mike. Honestly, we've
Really?
watched a few shows. Oh, yeah.
tons of
Pe-
it.
People's
Sorry.
frustrations with us not buying a striker, they're taking it out on
Don't
Tony.
get me wrong.
and
I
Antonio.
absolutely love the guy. I think he is.
Oh, no, I
like
do.
a
I
superb-
agree. He needs a rest. I know he does.
But he just, he does. He just needs the rest. He needs a challenge. He needs someone to. Well, I'm not going to say the words.
Anyway, come on, you viewers out there, because there's a lot more than 8 viewers out there. We've got 20.
Yeah, come on. Who's going to join? We're going to give you a few minutes. We'll give you a few minutes. And then we'll go.
Challenge Shedman, because Shedman is there to be beat. He's up there to be shot at tonight. So you
Do
got to do it.
you remember I beat him the other week with that question and he got the right ump? Oh.
He did get the ump. He did get the ump.
Oh,
Yeah.
did he get the ump or what? My
He asked me
God.
5 questions. Did you see that? He asked me 5 questions. 4 I get right. Yeah, right. And because I'd forgotten that the 2 of these geezers were a cab driver, and I'm thinking, what the fuck's that got to do with football? What's John got to do with football, realistically? It was him being in the question that threw me. As I showed you on Twitter about how, well, I could ask you a question. What have I got in common with footballers? Fucking hell.
You really upset him there, John.
That was the best night of my life.
Right, Mike, are you on? Yeah,
Yeah.
you are. Father Jack.
Yeah.
Is Chris on?
Coming on.
Chris.
Just pop up, Mins.
Right, I think we're going to give it a go.
Tenor, do. Go on. Carry on.
Right.
Now what do
Here
we
we
do?
go.
Oh, yeah. Don't shout out the
Get
answers.
ready.
I've got to put my glasses on.
Is there a prize?
Yeah.
We can't see the image.
We can't see him.
What's happened?
Is it John Cena?
I can see it.
What image?
What image?
Yeah.
Who's this striker?
It's a
No,
snowman.
I can't see it. Who is that?
I don't know what's happened.
There's no one there. There's no one there.
Well,
I
someone got
chose
it right.
Zaza.
I don't know what's happened now.
I chose Zaza and I got it right.
Yeah, Gary.
Right, okay, true or false. Hopefully you can see this one.
So Trevor Brooking first took charge of the first team affairs. Nigel will know this. Oh. False.
Don't shout it.
Well, no, I'm just guessing. I'm just saying.
I've got it wrong.
I shouldn't actually.
I've got it wrong.
Yeah, I will. That's my dreams of glory gone down the toilet.
Oh, Sean.
We ain't going to get beat by a Spurs fan, are we?
No, this is Freshfielder. He's in the lead.
Who?
I can't.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
Sean.
coming up slowly, yeah. Who is it?
Oh,
Easy.
yeah, I know that. I know that.
He's here. He's there. He's everywhere.
He's every fucking where. John Monker.
Oh.
John Monker. I got that.
It's a bit slow in coming down with the images, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I'm sorry. I'll tell you what, Nick. This is brilliant. The way how fast this is working.
Well, no, it's only still going because people ain't all answered yet.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Virgil, me and Shed. Oh, come on.
Me and Shed.
Shed. Who scored the winning goal in the 5 or 6 round? The last club to beat Guns at Highbury. I know this, don't I?
Oh, fuck.
I know that. Fuck off. I know that.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I pressed the wrong one.
Winning goal.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
We scored
Oh,
3.
Got it the wrong way round.
Yeah, but the winning goal will be the second one, right?
Got it the wrong way round. What's a mug?
And I fucking got it wrong. Oh, Nigel fucking surged into the lead. Oh, this is
The
bollocks.
wrong one. As soon as I did it, I knew.
Here we go.
Oh, did he?
It's the 21st century.
21st century.
Wild
I don't
guess
know this
from
one.
Gary.
So I've had to go guess.
I'd like to thank Russell Budden of West Ham Network for this quiz this evening.
Yeah, these are all these questions I've nicked.
Oh, I got that wrong as well. Brilliant. I'm shit.
Oh, Father Jack, I tell you what, he's hot on your tail, Nige.
And he's drunk.
I know.
I'll tell you what. There's a Spurs fan in 4th.
Oh, you don't let him win. Do not let him win, whatever you do. Please.
Oh, shit.
Well, well, this one.
We had a discussion about this, didn't we?
Oh, that's got to be him.
Yeah.
Well, I've gone early.
I went early.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Molly.
Marlon.
It's like catchphrase when it does it, isn't it? See what you see, see what you see. If you see it,
Yeah,
see what you see, see what you see.
How good is it when Teddy Sheringham? Shush your mouth. Shush your mouth.
Oh, good answer.
I think I'm back in the game here.
Fucking hell, I got one right.
Me too.
Oh, 10.5 close.
Nigel's
Mike, you're
extending
very
his
good,
lead.
mate. You're
Yeah,
very
well
good.
Oh, Nigel, you're very good, Nigel.
No, I said Michael. I said Mike.
done. Right, I know the answer to
Not
this.
you, John. You're shit.
I know the answer to this. Fucking Nick don't know.
I do. I do know what it is.
Yeah, of course you do, because you set the quiz up. You checked earlier.
He's
The Rio
cheating.
stand.
He's cheated and he's still last. I've had a fucking.
Oh, Webber's in
He's
third.
creeping up in 5th place.
Sort it out. Webber's in third here.
I know, it's bollocks, isn't it?
Oh, for
In the
God's
Football
sake.
League.
Nigel knows that one, doesn't he?
Oh, I know that as well. I know that as
How
well.
quiet Nigel's gone. He takes it so fucking serious.
Nah, not. No, I think I just got it wrong, actually.
No,
I
I've
think
just got it wrong as well.
I've
I don't know
revised
why.
my answer. It should be the orange one, shouldn't it? Oh, bollocks. Yeah,
Only 3 people got it right.
yeah.
Let's see Webber gonna get down.
That separated the men from the boys.
Nigel, I got it wrong I got it right in hindsight. Do I get half a point?
Look, Webber's coming down with the Christmas decorations. Look, just like Spurs.
Yeah, he's gone now.
Oh,
He's gone now.
well done.
Spurs has dropped off.
Nick, how many questions? Oh, 20.
20.
Fucking, I've got to catch up here. Under which manager did this former?
Who is it? Oh, fucking hell. Give us a clue. Give us a bit. Oh, it's Joey Cole on it. Oh, yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah, I got that.
Know that one.
Got that. That's no problem. As soon as I saw that bum chin that he's got, the chin that looks like a bum.
The bum chin.
I'm chin.
Yeah.
Peter Griffin.
That's it.
You got that wrong.
Hey, I resent the chin comment. I have that kind of chin underneath this beard.
Peter Griffin.
We can't see that, Sean. Don't take that as a slur. Danny, rather. I was reading, Sean. What team did Di Canio score his world-class league? I know this as well. That one.
By
That's
the way,
the first year
this was my question,
I
by the way.
started
I
watching
actually,
this club.
that was the only question I put in this one. It's my only unique
If you
question.
remember, Letitia scored an equally as good goal in the same game.
Yeah, it's a
Fuck
brilliant,
off, he did.
brilliant goal.
Not that game, he didn't.
Michael Hughes actually did.
Look at Gary of Romford. Gary of Romford is challenging.
John, I'm not being funny,
That
mate.
was
John, you're shit.
Where are you?
I'm not playing because I've done the quiz.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
I'm gonna say
tough
that.
one.
50-50 for me.
Easy.
Sure.
I love George.
Easily.
I love George Paris.
So do I. You can get him to do you a memo. On the
No, we
website.
go for actors.
Oh, mate.
Yes,
Really?
Yes! Yes!
Come on, you irons. Up goes Gary of Romford.
What have I gone? What? I said yes.
Fucking hell, Webber's up my arse now, isn't he?
All right.
I didn't know this one.
I know this one.
I know this one.
I know this one.
Well, I pressed the wrong button fucking twice.
Of course you have, John.
Yeah.
Up goes Gary of Romford, down goes Sean Webber of Spurs.
He's probably Googling it, Webber.
Yeah, look, he disappeared. Webber's disappeared.
Johnny loves club, Bobby. Oh, Roland Rat. You know, Jesus, that's an hard one, isn't it?
I'm going to go for the, you know,
I've got to gamble this one.
Wasn't he?
this is a mind game, this one.
He was off the bench a lot, but I think he played a lot of games, but off the bench. He was fucking
No, I
shocking.
think I've gone wrong here.
Rebrov was shocking, wasn't he?
Yes!
I think I'm wrong.
Oh, bollocks.
Nigel got one wrong.
Brother Jack, I've got to be honest, mate. You're different gravy. You are. Look.
Quiz, mate. Quizzes.
Oh, which season? Oh, mate. Oh.
Oh, no, I've gone wrong. It should have been the... I know which one it should have been, and I've chosen the wrong one.
I think it's that one when we was in. He was at QPR. Yeah, it's got to be that.
Yeah,
one.
the orange one.
Yes!
The orange one. If I'd have looked at that, I'd have got it, but I didn't.
Friend
Got
of
to be
the
honest,
staff
I
night.
thought all of those were too late.
No. 89,
Thought it was
90.
earlier.
89, 90.
I guessed based on the kit he was wearing in the picture.
Did you get it right?
Yeah.
Good guess, mate.
We didn't wear that kit that season, funny enough.
That's funny.
Still got it right.
Yeah, because that's before I was even born.
Really?
Oh,
Hey,
show us the face. Show us the face.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, it's Dave.
It's Dave.
You're even wearing
Is
it.
it Byram?
Who is it?
Fucking hell, what's going
Sam
on here?
Byram. Sam Byram?
It is Sam Byram, yeah.
Oh, I know that.
Fucking hell.
Where's
Yeah.
Byram now? Is he? Did he go to Norwich?
There's Byram now.
That's where do we get
Him
him from?
in, I think
I
that's
can't
where I
sing
fucked
at the
that up.
moment.
He's
Where did we get
having
him
such
from?
a good
They
time.
went to Norwich. He's not. I don't think
That's what I said.
who he
Yeah, he
is.
went to Norwich. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Damn
what I
it.
just
Byram
We signed him
Trick
now.
from
question.
Norwich. Damn, we signed him from.
Yes, I knew. Damn it!
Ooh.
Dirty fucking Leeds. Sorry,
Shedman's
my
pulling
language.
away. Shedman's pulling away. Webber's gone.
You know,
He's
Nigel, you have to
disappeared
win
off the
every quiz,
league.
don't
Well impressed with MB.
Oh, fuck off.
Ooh, that's.
I'll
I
tell
know
you
that
what,
one.
right?
I know
I'll tell
that
you
one.
what. I'm going to go.
Oh, yeah, I am as well.
He's only 17. He's better than Roy Keane.
Oh, yes.
I knew that. I
I've
knew
got
that one.
I've got that.
Am I the only person who's ever seen? Oh no, Nigel will have seen Bobby Moore, won't you, Nigel?
For Fulham, I saw him play with Bob.
Yeah. Oh, just yeah,
West Ham. Yeah.
I saw him play
That's
for
still
Fulham.
badass.
just before 75. What was that? About 74, 70? Yeah,
No,
about
I've
74 then.
seen him in his last season, 77.
Oh, fucking hell.
Alvin Martin won more England caps as a player, as a West Ham player, than David.
Oh,
when David James was,
shit. I've pressed the wrong button.
hang on, is that saying when David James was at West Ham? Or
I think
over-
it's, yeah, I think it's who won more caps as a West Ham player. They've
Oh, do you know
worked
this is
out-
going to be
West
so
Ham
close, isn't it?
I think I've done it wrong. Alvin Martin won 17. Oh, I got it
Oh, I
right.
haven't even
shit.
pushed the button, you twit.
Shit. I thought that would be right. Oh, God, look, I've gone down to fifth. The Spurs fans above me. Oh, this
Well,
is
I'm going to give you all a couple of moments to compose yourself, right? Because Nigel is in the lead here. He will be feeling
Right.
the pressure as well.
Come on.
Come
Right.
on, MB.
Are you ready?
Come on.
Here
Come
we
on,
go.
Father Jack.
Girls, drink. Feck.
Oh, I know this. I know it, and I think I just got it wrong. No, I think I got it right. No, I got it wrong. No, I got it right.
Which one?
No,
I'm going to go
no,
for the obvious.
that
I
was-
know it's wrong.
Were you
I know
there,
it's-
Gary?
Yeah, I got it wrong. I knew it, and I got it wrong. Oh, fuck.
I was only 6 months old. Just so you know.
Oh,
I wasn't
fucking
even
hell.
born.
He's run away with this shed, man.
My mom was 20.
Hey!
Hi,
mum,
Mercedes.
Oh, it's Mercedes.
Happy
Oh, she's
birthday,
right here,
birthday.
She just came home from work.
No,
Happy birthday, Mercedes.
Oh, at the
Happy
spa,
birthday for the
whatever.
other day.
For the other day.
He sent her to work on her birthday. What a gentleman. Was this the first Portuguese player to represent West Ham? Eusebio?
Is it Paulo Futre or is it Danny? That's Danny, isn't it?
I don't know. He was
I
always
can't see who it is.
Was Danny before Futre? I can't remember.
Yes.
Oh, mate.
Way after.
Oh, fuck. I just said true. Why didn't you say
I
after?
know he looks way too young, doesn't he?
Why didn't you say after before I pressed the button, Mike?
Yes.
Oh,
I got it right.
Oh wow, that was lucky.
That's not
Yes.
right.
Webber's in third. Webber's in third. What's
Fucking
going
hell.
on?
Futre was 96. I think Danny was
It's
95.
hilarious.
The Tottenham fan is in third. What is
That's
going on?
bullshit.
He's probably doing the West. He's probably got a West Ham mate with him.
He's
Brilliant
not
work.
really a Spurs fan, is he? I know that.
How many goals?
Oh, I don't know.
I know that.
I'm about to gamble.
Don't gamble, Nigel.
If anybody guessed 2 or 1, you're a dipshit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got it
Yeah,
wrong.
I got it wrong.
immediately. Like, come on.
I knew that.
Yeah, but 2 or 1 is an interesting one,
Guaranteed
isn't it?
second
It could
place,
be
isn't
one of those myths kind of thing.
Guaranteed second.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Nigel wins
It's
again.
the quiz
He's a
champion.
surprise.
More than that.
Well done, mate.
Well done, Nigel. Well done,
Well
Virgil.
done,
Well
boys.
done, Father Jack.
Well
Well done.
done.
Good result. Good result. Nigel,
certainly is
that was not entirely unexpected, Nigel. It was not entirely unexpected.
No, I was disappointed. I must admit, I got a few from
Where did everybody else come? No,
second.
don't say that. I don't want to see myself in last.
I'm happy with bronze, mate. I'm happy
Dude, there's
with
no
bronze.
way you finished lower than me.
Let me. Does it tell you? View full report. Yeah.
Go on, read it out from bottom to top.
Yeah, go on, just for a laugh.
Well, I have a costume change.
Who's getting relegated? Because there were 20 players.
Yeah, I think I'm in League Division 2 for this one.
Yeah. Right, Gary, you are. Sean, I was expecting more of you as well. I'm gonna share this. 1 minute. I'll share it back. So
Oh, bloody hell. Response times and everything.
Below Sean. Oh, fuck.
Sean who? Freshfielder.
Sean, no, Sean the Spurs supporter.
no, Freshfield. I thought because he was doing really well. Freshfield
Oh, wow.
he was right up the top.
I finished 8th out of 10.
Who's Beanie?
No way.
I am
There
rubbish.
we go. There we go.
You're fourth.
Fourth.
I'm a bit shocked at that one.
Yeah, can I
Actually.
just say, yeah, you know, like people question our overseas fans, and,
Oh,
and
no,
Danny,
it was a different.
Danny
Yeah,
came.
Danny, good going, mate. You came in
Yeah,
fourth.
well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Done.
Yeah.
Wait,
Absolutely
fourth,
awesome, mate.
fourth
Well
to
done.
last?
No, fourth.
You came fourth.
No, you came fourth, mate.
High five, Danny.
Fourth out of 10.
That's
Dan.
not bad.
Danny, virtual high five. Come on.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Hang on. I have
No,
to
I'm
go
well
down.
impressed with that. I'm double your age, mate. And I'm from Upminster, and I still only got
Father
that.
Jack, he's at the moment, he's smashing his front room up. He's angry. He really is because he was right in there, wasn't he? You know, he's got a right up. He's bashing Mason Mount up in his basement as we speak.
He finished second, though. He finished second, so that's a good result, which is better than
He
my
did really
8th.
well. He did really
To be
well.
fair.
Well, he's the best of the rest, as I like to say.
Yeah, he is the best.
I'm not big-headed, but
No, not at all. Right, so Nick, after the quiz, what are we doing next? Are we doing a match review?
We're not going to do a full preview, no, because if the game goes
Preview.
ahead, we're going to talk about it.
We're doing karaoke at the end.
Yeah, if the game's
Do
going
not
to go
get me
ahead,
started, Chris.
we're going to do a show with Sean on Tuesday. So if it goes ahead, so
But
all
have
we'll
you
do-
done? You know what we said? Have you done prep for the preview tonight?
No, I've not done this. We're just going to talk about the game. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Why don't we just go around the table in terms of if the game goes ahead? Why don't we just go to John? If the game goes ahead, what are your expectations for Wednesday?
I expect us to win because, like you said earlier, I would take a trophy over finishing in Europe, and that sounds a little bit defeatist. But I want to see West Ham lift a trophy. I've never seen West Ham lift a proper trophy, and I would be happy. Like I was happy that you said it earlier, actually, Nick, when you said if we finished 15th and won the Carabao Cup, you'd be happy.
Cup. Oh yeah, would you? Yeah.
But I've never heard you say that.
No. Oh, he's back. Look. Oh no, he just got changed. Look, he's. He just got changed.
For me now, it becomes a question of going for the cup, going for the Carabao Cup, mate. I really truly believe that.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think so, and it is a good. Do you know what? I mean, look, we don't know whether Spurs were just fucking pulling a fast one and just resting their players and making the most of a period, or whether or not they have actually had some senior players out with COVID. We don't know. In which case, look, they're going to be rusty. He's got the FA Cup. Look,
who?
Nigel.
Oh, but he was alive. I wasn't even alive. Was he?
What, 1980?
Yeah. So, but yeah. So for you, I'll tell you what. Let's just say. Let me ask you a question, John. Let me ask you a question. Just say this game. If the Norwich game was going ahead on the weekend, and it was a case of us resting. Playing our full strength team against Norwich, but resting them for the cup game, what would you choose? Would you choose if you could play your A team against Norwich and your B team against Spurs, or the other way around? What would you select at this moment in time?
I'd go for the cup because you're 2 games away. We're 2 games away from Wembley, 3 wins away from winning the cup. It's nothing. It's 3 games.
I'd like to think that our
technically it's 3 games away from Wembley because you've got to play 2 in the semi-final.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I don't want to split hairs, but
yeah, Ella.
You do.
Good point.
He's just coming for me all the time. This geezer.
Yeah, he is.
Hey, look,
question,
Mike, jumper number 2 is winning, mate. Apparently, you're where are we?
I think winning a cup is the next step to progression. Right?
I think so. Yeah.
You want to progress as a club. We want to progress. Realistically, 4th is very. I'm not writing us off of it, but finishing 4th is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough gig.
Well, Spurs finished 4th and won the League Cup, and look what it's got them.
They've won fuck all.
I just want to win. I just want to win a cup. I mean, that's what I want. I just want to win a cup. So Danny, what about yourself, mate? We'll try and we'll just go around the screen. Go on.
Man, if we even just look, obviously, I never want to see my team lose anything. I don't care what competition we're in, but you're putting on the caveat, and it's a fun question. You put the added caveat of would you potentially sacrifice this to get this?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, a trophy's a trophy. If it's the English League Cup, the FA Cup, which we haven't even started yet, the league, I think, is not really feasible. You want to finish. I think we can finish top 5.
Yeah.
Obviously, if
it's a big show.
You never know.
We take care of business during the transfer window, but if we don't win at least something, it'll be a loss to me.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Can I just interrupt everyone a minute? Am I the only one that thinks Nigel looks very creepy at the minute with that trophy?
Wait, like this?
He was a bit, a bit like he just nicked it off someone.
Yeah. Nigel, is that one of those replica full-size FA Cups?
Yeah, it is. It's hard because it makes it closer.
Bring it closer. Lift it off his plinth.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the actual FA Cup, Nigel. To be fair,
Is it full size, Nigel?
Yeah, it's full size. It's a proper replica.
The FA Cup.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from?
Oh, look at that!
Look at that with the Claret and blue ribbons.
Notice the way Nigel treats that cup with care and love. Unlike Steven Gerrard, who flung it over his head and the fucking lip fell off.
Yeah.
It's strange though, isn't it? Because cups don't normally go missing in the East End, do they?
Right.
No, they don't.
Right.
Silverware does though.
The main reason I just want to see us win something.
Well, never gets so in the first place, does it?
Last season. Mark Noble deserves to go out holding.
No, there isn't, Claire. There's nothing. There's nothing he doesn't have in his shed. You're right.
Gary. So on to you then. What the question I asked when you left was if the Norwich game was going ahead this weekend and you had the option of playing your A team against Norwich and your B team against Spurs, or the reverse of that, what would you select? What would your choice be?
I've got to admit, because it's Spurs, I would play a stronger team on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm completely in agreement. Father Jack, how about you? Same question to you, sir.
Stronger
It's
team.
changed again.
Against-
It's changed
against
again.
Spurs. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather win a cup than anything. Anything else.
Exactly.
Mike, Jack,
Just
what
a
have
day
you got
out.
on your
Just a day out.
what have you got on your top, Jack? Stand up.
He's got nothing in the bottom half, though. Careful.
Hang on.
Yeah, don't stand up.
So
Yeah.
Michael brings that jumper to the party, and Nigel brings the FA Cup. Well, fuck you.
I know.
Who is that on his shirt?
I don't know.
Jesus, isn't it?
Jesus.
Oh, I thought it was Billy Bonds.
Baby Jesus.
Billy Bonds, brilliant.
Baby Jesus.
Well, the same sort of person, really.
Yeah.
Right, Chris, over to you, sir. Same question.
Oh, this is
And,
very easy. Cup.
And I'll tell you what, I will expand it on you as well. It's the same question. And because we are going to be playing our best available team against Spurs, how do you expect Wednesday to go?
So definitely go for the cup. But I think Spurs will also go for the cup as well. And I've got a feeling we can't be too optimistic on this game.
I'm not optimistic.
So I'm thinking we could even the word we can't end up with a replay, can we? This would go to penalties.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
On the night.
I think this will go to penalties and it'll be an
I
absolute
think our best
nightmare
hope
of a
is
night.
like FA or Europa League. That's
Europa
Europa.
League. Every time, every day. of the
Europa
week.
every time, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys mentioning that? I
We've
could see
got hotels booked. We've got our flights booked. Come on, we've got to do for it.
It's a more prestigious trophy. You got to take that, ain't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's all about keeping Declan Rice, and the Europa Cup is what keeps Declan Rice if we get it.
Most
Why?
importantly,
Why?
we can have another European champion statue outside of London Stadium, can't we, Nigel?
For me, mate,
Go on, Nigel. On to you.
it's all about this cup here, mate.
The FA Cup.
I love the FA Cup.
That's
This
my
is-
cup. That's
Yeah.
my preferred cup.
This is
broke
the
my heart
cup
in 2006. that
of
did.
dreams. I
the cup of
actually
cups.
tried to appear on Mastermind, and I got all the way to televised interview. On my specialist subject was the FA Cup finals and West Ham in the FA Cup. And it's the best cup competition in the world for me.
It is.
the oldest, is it not?
It is
Yeah.
the
1872.
so I think this
Well,
this year's the
150th.
150th.
feet then.
This year's the 150th.
Yeah.
Running
2022 is the 150th, isn't it?
yes. So that's all right. Well, this tournament is the 150th
Yeah, the final,
running
yeah.
of the FA
Because
Cup.
I remember getting the in 1972. I got the 100th anniversary coin collection from Esso, I think it was.
Look, he's going to get it. Look, he's digging it out, Nigel. Look.
Isn't it?
I think we've spoken about this in the past,
That's
actually.
badass.
Oh,
got,
God, this thing's got everything.
I know if he's got this collection, this is brilliant because my brother's still got mine.
He knows where everything is. I fucking can't find it.
Yeah.
Because Arsenal won it in 1972, and I was still in that mode of thinking West Ham won cups.
Tell you what, right? In 1871, and I haven't googled this, honest, right? The Royal Albert Hall was opened by Queen Victoria in 1871. That's amazing.
So
US
I've got
President Ulysses S. Grant.
My mum and I went to the proms that year.
Yeah, the
I've got
Civil War
every
was
cup
going on.
final
Yeah,
program
yeah.
since 1964.
Oh, look at that.
Oh my God.
So obviously we were in 64, then we go through to 72. And I've got a booklet here from 1950 about the FA Cup.
Bloody hell.
So
Wow.
yeah, I've
Nigel,
got
your shed must be worth a fortune, mate.
Hope you keep that locked up, man.
You're a West Ham fan.
luckily I'm a locksmith.
Yeah.
You're lucky you're 3,000 miles away, pal.
Yes,
So-
of course we're live,
that's awesome.
Hammerhead.
Yeah,
we'll still
so,
be live at
yeah,
9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
I'm
You know
an
that.
FA Cup buff. I've got all books on the FA Cup and everything.
I love the
Just going back to that one thing about the Europa Cup and Rice.
Pre-booking.
Yeah.
I think if we get the Europa Cup, we then get Champions League football, and I think that keeps us Declan Rice for next season.
Right. Yeah. I see
sir.
what you meant.
Yeah.
I'd explain more, but my voice won't do more than
Nigel.
2 sentences.
Nigel, have you got a silk scarf in your shed?
Do you know what?
Like Chris
Funny
up.
enough, the annoying thing is that I had one of them as a kid,
Yeah.
and I didn't really start collecting until I was 11.
Right.
So stuff that I got around the FA Cup final, because silk scarves were big in the late 70s
Yeah.
and 80. And I never, and the one thing that really annoys me is I got all my shirts from when I was 11 as well, is that I actually had the white FA Cup final shirt, but the away shirt, but with the RAN badge.
Yeah.
Which you can't get now, and that is my all-time favourite shirt with the Admiral chevrons along there. The Admiral
I know
badge
which
and-
one you mean. I know which one you mean, because that was my first ever West Ham kit. That one,
Yeah.
I had that. And,
What year was that again?
1980,
80.
79, 78, 79, 80.
It's all you can get, because I had this little chat with Nigel on Twitter, and I was saying, "Oh, you can get it from the shop," but he's right. You can't get the one with
No,
the round
it's
badge
not-
from the
it's not
shop.
the
You
round
can't get
badge.
it.
Oh, okay. So
I
you just get
know-
the replica that,
But
from
listen,
them.
I know, Russ, if you've got a silk scarf and you want to donate it to Nigel's shed, the Museum of West Ham,
No.
give it to me at the next game, and then I'll pass it on to Nigel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do collect. I mean, I'm looking at my carrier bag collection, which is a
What?
West Ham carrier bag collection.
With some carrier bags as well. Bloody hell.
Yeah, so
From the club shop. From the club shop.
Yeah, so from the
Yeah.
club shop, but obviously a lot with the old badge as well, because obviously you can't get a West Ham carrier bag with the old badge on, can you?
No.
No. That's it.
So you know,
You
other
can't get a carrier
people's
bag anymore.
other people's collections, you can't get a carrier bag anymore. Yeah,
10 pence a piece.
so
It's
yeah.
true, though. True.
What did I pick up recently? I know it ain't a thing, but this actually, I picked this up recently. It's a model of the bowling.
It's
Very
lovely.
nice.
So
Very
this is what it looked like.
That's a proper one.
Yeah, so this is the second one I've got. I've got
That
a
looks
handmade
mid
one,
70s.
which
That's
is
before the West. Before the West.
Yeah,
the
that's a
West Ham got
Yeah.
mid 70s. That's beautiful.
No,
No,
this is actually from what we call post 1995. So this is
Yeah.
1995 to 2001.
So you got the new centenary and the Bobby Moore.
Yes, yeah.
But you've got the original West Stand.
So I've got an older model here, or a model. If I can clear me Corinthians.
Claire's got the
figures
same
out.
Okay,
thing.
Nigel, Claire's already got that model, mate. So get
Yeah.
on.
So, which is this one, which is with the old West Stand and with the South Bank, the North Bank. So this is 1968 to 1993.
How can we make Nigel big?
Well,
No, I mean, how do we do it? Have I got to search someone? No, I don't know how to do it. Fuck
No
me.
one's ready for
There's
it.
this spotlight in StreamYard.
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
so
Oh, there
that
we go.
is,
There we go.
You know, Nigel's missing a trick. Nigel, if you charged admission fees into your shed, West Ham fans would come round and pay to go and have a look. I'm telling you.
Oh no, honestly, I'll send a WhatsApp from Sean, who's in the chat, who's been in the chat all night. He said, "When there's no more COVID, you've got to do a tour of this geezer's shed. It's unreal." And
Yeah, exactly. I'd love to go there.
Yeah, it's
Those models are fantastic.
yeah.
I'll tell you
So
what,
yeah,
Sean,
that is-
Sean, it's a tenner entrance fee to all West Ham fans. 30 quid for you.
exactly yeah.
Rules is rules.
I mean, it was funny. There was a sale in the club shop the other week, and they had the Bobby Moore Action Man.
Yeah, you
So-
showed us that. You
Yeah,
showed
I
us
showed that here, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
you showed us that one. I
get
think
one of them.
someone went on and bought it as well, didn't they? Straight away.
But,
Have those models got the club shop and those porter cabins that used to be out the front?
no. I'd
Mate,
Because that's what I really remember.
you know
Oh,
what,
that
Chris?
was those were the days.
I was talking about those porter cabins. I used to love walking in there as a kid and the
Yeah.
creaky floorboard
Yeah.
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
up the ramp. There was no thrill.
yeah.
Big
It was
long
brilliant.
canter, the way they merged 3 porter cabins into
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So the
It was
cabin-
amazing.
Like a long train carriage.
It was amazing because it was like a kid. You remember? Do you remember Nigel? The only person on here who remember this is Nigel, right? You know Bethnal Green, right? Do you remember in the 70s, Brody's toy shop at the end of Bethnal Green Road?
Yeah, it was just past the traffic lights, wasn't it?
Yeah, but what they
Where
used
the
to
museum is.
they had the whole. You know, we were all into Subbuteo back then, like late 70s, early 80s.
Yes,
They had
still got
every
mine.
fucking Subbuteo accessory and every Subbuteo team and everything else, right? And that's what that porter cabin reminded me of. It was like a. Oh, look at that.
Oh my
here we
God.
are. Look at that. Look at that.
My cousin Paul, who, if he
That's
ever watches
unbelievable.
this, if he ever watches
Subbuteo
this,
West Ham team.
Nigel, that was brilliant.
no, that's one of the newer ones,
brilliant.
right? My cousin
No, this
Paul's
is
got the-
77 to
No,
78.
that's the one I had.
That's the original
Late
77
70s.
78.
Yeah.
Big-
Unboxed.
My cousin Paul has got like the 50s and 60s ones. He's got the fucking really old ones, right? But what we did was, me and him, we had a final because we used to play Subbuteo against each other all the time. Back in like 1985, when we were both about 17, 18, 1986, we had a final and I played against Paul. 2 West Ham teams, home versus away. And he was 1-0 up. And
He
then,
beat you, though, didn't he? He beat you.
no, I got a penalty in the 89th minute, and it was my brother-in-law who gave the penalty, right? And it was a definite penalty, right? Fucking terrible foul, almost took my head off, right? And I slammed that ball into the top corner, and that ball is still
Subbuteo.
rising. Like
I
it
love
was
the way he
power.
says it. It's
So if you're
fucking
watching Paul,
Subbuteo.
if you're
I
watching
slammed it in the-
Paul, 1-0, murdered you. I murdered you.
I slammed it in the top corner.
Nailed it with my little finger.
Danny, have you heard of Subbuteo?
What's that?
I'll tell you what, boys.
Have you
you
heard of Subbuteo?
Yeah. Poor Danny.
Danny, have you heard of Subbuteo?
Have you heard of the football game called Subbuteo?
No.
So
No.
it's an old classic. It's an old classic football game from like started in like the 50s, 60s. But you should look it up. Like it's a bit of a.
It's coming back.
It's
They're
coming
trying
back. I
to-
reckon.
It's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
an American football version where they touch the
It's
head.
not,
and
Danny.
They did a version for rugby union. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
They did don't you remember the cricket one, the test match?
Yeah.
And
They had to do the spin on it. That's it.
I had the floodlights, I had the scoreboard, I had the little cameraman on
Yeah.
the thing.
Floodlights.
Yeah, I had it all. I had the
I've
corner.
got-
Floodlights would have been brilliant with LEDs now as well.
Yeah, I've got a Subbuteo kit. I'll have to get you boys round and we'll have a game. 'Cause I've
Yeah,
got
we'll
big
have a go with
table
it.
here.
I love
I've got a big
stereo.
table
Nigel.
here,
I
and
love
it
it.
would take the Subbuteo field, and I've got the I won't let you play with my West Ham team because that's a collectible. But
That
we
needs to
can
stay in the
play
box.
we can play the Reds v Blues.
Yeah.
It just looks like foosball, but not as fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Much more
Danny.
tactical.
It's
and
all about who's
strategic.
got the flick.
Oh, okay. It's a lot more nuanced than it
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
on
Oh,
Google images.
It's
Really
quite a
not.
fast game though.
Really
It's
not.
not. It's very deceptive, isn't it?
Yeah.
My
like
team
that-
was
that
always
penalty
called the
where
Blues
I-
team, 'cause
That
it
penalty
was like-
where I equalised in the 89th minute, right? My
Oh,
cousin,
you're still talking about that?
How hardly?
my cousin
how
accused me
hardly
of flicking. He accused me of flicking. I didn't fucking flick. It's the power of the forefinger, Paul. It's the power of the
That's right,
forefinger.
because you're not allowed to flick, are you?
Yeah, you can only flick from the surface.
That's it. Yeah.
Can't flick
Exactly.
from the
Yeah,
finger.
With his
With
finger
a
from
simpler
fucking
time.
Oh my
points
god!
before, right?
And goodbye.
I
audience.
remember
Can't believe I'm 56 years old and I'm talking about flicking.
they used to.
Still,
They probably still have it, but they used to.
Probably
They
a
have-
different night.
careful.
They used to have Subbuteo World Cups, didn't they?
They did.
I think
Yeah,
they still
we
do.
still go on, believe it or not.
Well, oh my god.
It was massive in South America, you know, Subbuteo, massive.
That's weird that I haven't heard about it.
Life
because
size,
I'm
Where was it originally?
I've never
Italian.
heard of that.
There is an American football version. It's got.
Yeah, I had never heard of that.
I think it was Italian initially.
It's got to be.
The name sure looks Italian enough.
Sounds Italian. Subbuteo.
Who said Subbuteo?
Subbuteo.
That sounds a lot more.
Chris.
Italian.
Welsh Italian, that was.
You tried to make out my accents aren't very accurate.
What are we going to do? Call him Calzaghe now?
Larry for a minute.
Is he Macwanelli?
First time anybody's accused me of not having a good accent.
Brooklyn v Hungary stuck in the stanchion in the corner.
Oh yeah. Oh, you said stanchion.
It's British. It was invented by a bloke from the RAF. Jesus.
Yes, they did.
My cousin Kevin, wasn't it?
What was that song? That
My
ball
cousin
was
Kevin.
stuck in
I've
the
got a
stanchion.
cousin called Kevin, and he's sure to go to heaven because he knew the flick and I didn't know.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Right, very, very good, gentlemen. Well, I think that's about it for the show. I think we're all ready to wrap up, Miguel.
I think we.
There's no point. There's no point doing a Premier League predictor because there ain't no Premier League.
We could do a Premier
I
League.
predict there may be a little bit of a
what would have
We
happened.
could do a Carabao Cup predictor if you fancy it.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't got one.
I
then.
think on Monday there's a big meeting, isn't there? Whether they're going to cancel it all.
Oh, it'd
I'll
be
tell you
shit,
what,
wouldn't it? I hope
I'll
it
tell you
goes
what,
ahead.
let's have a vote. Let's have a vote from the attendees, right? From all ye here present, who wants to do a Premier League predictor?
Premier League or Carabao?
A Carabao predictor.
Carabao predictor. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You mean
voting, Nick? Get on with a Carabao predictor. Nigel's not
I
interested.
haven't
but,
got
you
one
know.
of them. I'll have to just pull the fixtures up.
Sunderland are playing someone. Liverpool are
Brentford,
playing someone. We're playing Tottenham, and there's two other teams playing.
No. We want not the predictor. I mean the team predictor. The team predictor for West Ham
You
Spurs.
mean a squad
West Ham
predictor?
Spurs.
Oh, right. Yeah. I know what you mean now.
Oh, sorry.
It did sound like you wanted
Thank
results.
God you two brothers ain't in the same room like Wednesday, eh?
I know.
Jesus Christ.
Never
I know.
again.
He told me to fuck off. I couldn't believe it.
He's
I couldn't
here,
believe
look. He's a baby.
I generally had the police on
Baby
speed
Jesus.
dial.
Hey, I had a question for you guys. Whenever we come visit in the spring,
Yes.
is Upton Park still there?
No,
No.
they've moved it
Demolished?
to West London. They think it's a lot nicer now.
But if you need to go to any good pubs, I'm the man.
Brick by brick.
Oh, I'm
when you come over,
drinking with all you guys whenever we go over there, but
give us plenty of notice, Danny, when you're coming over, and we'll sort you out for tickets. Even if I have to give you my own tickets, Danny, you just come over and we'll sort you out.
And
Well,
if you're
I'll tell
doing
you
it,
what we'll do, we'll have
Yeah.
a drink as well. We'll come over and
Yeah.
we'll do something.
I could give you a tour. I've done this for 5 Americans already. A West Ham United history tour that starts where West Ham was born and finishes
Brilliant.
at Upton
That'd be
Park.
amazing.
And I can show you all the places where we played, where we were formed, everything.
The only
tell
thing
you what,
about that,
Nigel,
the
I've
only-
seen- I've
yeah,
thanks, man. I would love that. Yeah, we'll have to exchange information after all this.
I'm not
I've
sure
seen-
I'm not sure Nigel's got enough knowledge for that sort of thing. I don't know if you-
No, but I've seen Nigel's
It's a
videos
pub
on
every
this.
stop.
I've seen Nigel's videos on this, and frankly, I can take
Amazing.
myself to those places. But I'd actually really like to do that, Nigel, as well. So,
like
Danny,
to.
when you
We'll
come
all
over,
go
That's when
with
you
Danny.
do it.
We'll all
We'll
go
come
with
in.
Danny and
We'll have a
Mercedes.
Claret
We'll
and
all go.
Booze tour.
Yeah.
Definitely,
In-
yeah.
in
That would be
person,
quite funny, actually.
you guys can all get together anytime you want. I mean, we have to plan this out. We've been planning this out for a long time. My best friend, whose dad actually got me into West Ham United, is getting married. So late April and early May, we'll be there for about 10 days.
Oh, you're coming here for a wedding?
Yeah.
Yes, and
Are you basically inviting us to the wedding as well?
no, please don't show up to Reese's wedding. I mean, if
Reese,
you
you've told us his name now.
I'm gonna pretend I don't know you guys if you do that shit.
no,
but-
Danny, it's a famous East End custom that if you mention the name of the people that are getting married, then anyone can turn up. So we're going to turn up.
Yeah, I heard there's. I'm supposed to try jellied eel.
Yes,
Oh.
definitely.
I
You love it.
introduce you to
Well,
that.
Look, I'll
I'll do
try
that with
it,
you as a first
but
as well,
I don't know
Danny,
if I'm
if
gonna
that's
like
true.
that.
You will love
Actually,
it.
I'll try it.
You will love
I
it.
promise
Stew
I'll try
deals.
it.
What you got to try is stew deals.
Stew deals, yeah.
Don't,
Yeah, I've
not the
actually had
jelly
that.
stuff. Stew
Yeah.
Oh, I
deals.
like- I like the
Jelly deals,
I like
proper
the
jelly deals.
No,
mate.
Yeah,
stew
with
deals,
the
'cause
bones,
then he'll
with
really
the
throw up.
bones.
Yeah. Then you'll really want to drink after you lose all the food you just ate. Yeah, it sounds like a great time, guys.
I want to see him choke on the spine.
Nige.
What the fuck's that? It's the bone, son. You got to suck it out and put it in the
Nigel.
This sounds more like a hazer now.
Nigel, you know when we do the tour, can you show us where you park as well?
Yeah. That was the one big thing about not the one big thing about leaving Upton Park for me was I had a residence permit parking, so I never had trouble parking.
Oh, it's all about you, innit? It's all about you.
all those fucking campaigns and everything. It was all about your parking space.
It's like fucking hell. Like my parking space was only good at Upton Park. They got a different permit zone. Truth is out. Couldn't give a monkeys about the ground. I just wanted a 5-minute walk.
But I've got to be honest. So, Nige, when we do that tour, I mean, my son will definitely come. He's watched all your YouTube videos as well, Ben. So he absolutely loves them. Yeah.
They're really good.
Yeah, really, really good. So we'll definitely have to do that. But look, anyway, let's get into the squad selection for Wednesday night for a game that probably ain't going to happen. Is Fabianski's in goal? Yes, do we agree?
No. Areola.
I agree.
Nipple.
Areola.
The nipple's going in goal.
Yep.
I won't call him nipple and not tit. I mean,
The tit's going in goal. The tit's going in goal. Right, okay, so listen, we've got no Soufal. If it goes ahead, we've got no Soufal. Who's going right back?
Ben
Johnson.
Johnson.
He's fit.
Is he fit?
Yeah, he's fit.
Ashby.
He's fit.
Brilliant.
If not Ashby, I'm all right with
Yeah,
Ashby.
Yeah. I don't know.
That looks like Fredericks to me, though. I don't want to...
That is
That
Frederick.
is Fredericks. Fredericks not even fit.
Racing.
Needs progression,
I
Ashby.
think I've got Ashby. I've got Ashby as well. Look, yeah. We're playing both.
I thought we said Johnson.
Oh, did you say Fredericks ain't fit? Did you say Fredericks ain't fit?
No, I said
Fredericks is
Johnson. I
not
don't know
fit,
if
no.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Fredericks.
The Fredericks ain't fit.
I would play
Oh,
Ashby on
sorry,
the right
sorry.
and Johnson on the left.
No, not
I'm good
against
with that
Spurs.
too.
You got to go best team.
I'm good with that too.
What's the best team now? Johnson on the right and who on the left?
Cresswell on the left, isn't it? I mean,
We're going to go
Yeah.
Cresswell
And
on the left.
that's if we have a break in Premier League fixtures.
If Cresswell's fit, then he plays.
That's a good question from Sean Freshfielder. Isn't
No, he gets
Soufal
rolled
better than
over.
No.
he's not.
It gets rolled over because the Norwich game's off.
Sean, the answer is no.
Wait, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
because the Norwich-
I thought he would
because
be
the Norwich
available
game's
for
off.
any other competition besides the one he just
Claire's
Claire's-
going Fabs.
for.
Good
It
point.
ain't going to be. It ain't
Oh,
gonna be
actually, no.
Oh, okay.
It's a League Cup. It's not It's not an FA competition, is it?
I think the Areola versus Fabs thing is kind of, it's much of a muchness. I think Areola is as good as Fabs.
I agree.
Plus, we're also trying to
I think they're
develop
both got different
Areola as well.
strengths. They've both got different strengths.
Claire is livid. Claire is going mental in that
She's
game.
incandescent with rage.
Incandescent.
Right, okay, centre back. So we're going to go with Zuma
There
and
don't be
O'Connor, yeah?
incandescent.
Zuma and Bonner at centre half, Dawson and a Lacey.
Yeah.
Can we just comment on how good Dawson, the old-fashioned defender,
amazing.
is? Yeah, can we
He was
just
amazing
comment on
the other
that?
We love
The
him.
English Ginger Pele.
What's to comment on? We all love it.
I agree. He does remind me of
Love it.
James Collins. Yes.
Sorry, is he ginger? Is he ginger? Or is he
No.
is he
No.
strawberry
No, but
blonde?
he's English.
He's strawberry blonde, isn't he? He's a strawberry blonde Pele.
I'm calling him like the Rochdale Pele. Is he not from Rochdale?
So we're assuming with this lineup that Cresswell's ready.
Let's put Cresswell in there because if he's
Okay.
fit, he plays, isn't he?
Yeah,
I agree. Yes.
definitely against Tottenham. Yes.
Or he might come on. I don't think
Well,
he
are,
would
we,
start.
are we resting Declan Rice for this one?
Nope.
No.
No.
Not if you.
not
if
playing
you're
Saturday,
actually
is he?
trying to win
What?
the
I'm
cup.
joking.
Yeah,
I'm
Nigel's made a
taking
good.
the piss.
Nigel's made a
For him to give
Nigel's
us a
made a good
chance to
point.
lead
If
us
they're
to
not,
a bloody semi-final, not a chance.
Sorry,
No.
Claire, you're going to bed. What are you doing? We're not finished yet. Stay
no,
up.
she hasn't seen any Christmas wife runs. She was tuning in for the six packs and all that.
Sorry, Mike, show her your Christmas wife fronts.
Yeah, come on, Mike. You're going to have them, mate.
I'm naked from waist down. To be fair.
Oh. All right.
Again.
Right. So, central midfield. Are we going to go for the Czech Perlo next to Rice?
Yeah.
I'd love
There
to
we
see
go.
Mark. I'd love to see Mark Noble, but he'll never play again.
I
I'll tell
would
you
be
what,
okay
Nicky.
with
I
seeing
think
Mark Noble
Noble
come
will play. I
on
think Noble
in the
will
second
play
half.
this game.
No, honestly, I think we're gonna have to go strongest team in this. So it's got to be Rice and Souček.
So
Yeah.
1 second.
Yeah.
Let's consider the audience. Mickey, good evening.
Hello, Mickey. You all right, mate?
He's
It's a
just
long
started.
time. It's a long time ago. The start was a long time ago. So
I just want to
I
watch
hope
him
you
do the
enjoy
quiz
show,
because
mate.
if he beats me, I'm going to have the ump.
Yeah, don't beat him. Don't beat Nigel. Don't beat Nigel.
Nigel had to tell the late viewers that he won, didn't he? You know?
Yeah.
I didn't say I won. I just said if he beats me.
And he had to
That's
put
how
the
I
cup.
won, right? Now you've give the game away and spoilt it for him.
He's put the cup behind him as well, John. Look, just so there's no doubt.
Well, yeah, well, I won,
Well,
didn't I?
Right, who's going number 10 in this one? Lanzini?
Yeah.
What, against Tottenham? Obviously.
Cool. Just because of
Who
that.
else?
Really.
Lanzini's a must against Tottenham.
Right, now here's the big one.
That's a
right?
bit controversial from Hammerhead. 10 times better.
No,
I mean,
don't know
that's a
about that.
lot of times, right?
Yeah,
That's
Say
10
1.1
times better.
The point
possibly.
is playing the best team. That's
Based on what?
I
so
think he
far
might
that's the
be.
best team we've got.
I think Areola might be 1.15 times better than Areola. I don't think he's
And
10
he's
times
young
better.
keeper.
It's just my opinion.
Dawson, eh?
Don't spoil it,
Don't spoil it,
Nigel.
Nigel.
Yeah.
Right, so
Dawson,
listen. I think the big one. What we'll do, we'll avoid we'll avoid the wide players for now. The attacker now, for me in this one, I would rest Antonio and use him as an impact player. If I personally, I would. I'd probably play Bowen up front.
Against
If it
Spurs.
was me against Spurs, I would. Yeah, with the way that
Against
Antonio's been
Spurs.
playing.
The team he always scores against.
Nick,
I'll
Mikey's
bring him on.
right.
Only
Mike
scores
is
right.
I'd bring him on. I'm saying I'd bring him on. I'd bring him
Nick,
on.
if there's one team in England you play Antonio against, it is
It's
Spurs.
All right. Yeah, all right. No, that's a fair point, to be honest.
Every Spurs defender is having fucking nightmares about playing against him and him doing a silly dance after scoring.
To be
Yeah.
fair, Sean, when I said that, Sean was just in his Y-fronts. He was getting excited when I said that.
Sean,
Right, so-
picture of Y fronts for Claire.
Okay, so what does that mean? So obviously Bowen on the right. So who's going on the left? Are we going to go for the Algerian Messi?
Vlasic.
Vlasic. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Vlasic, yeah.
Vlasic.
He's got to get minutes, or else he's not going to.
Sorry, I
Catch
thought
up.
that was a joke. Did you just say Vlasic?
Yes.
Sorry, Nigel, are you against Vlasic? Go on.
Go on, Nigel.
It's got to be four now.
Oh yeah. No, that's a good
If
point.
it's strongest, what are we doing? Strongest team, or are we looking at the team that
Okay.
gets
always
to the
trying
next
to pick
round?
a
But
team
I
to
was
win the
thinking
game.
competition for just that.
We
Yeah.
need to win this cup.
That's a good
We
point,
need to
yeah.
win this cup by. The final of this cup's in February? Yeah, is that right?
Depends what
Yeah.
team they put
So
out.
play it
though,
like
as well,
a final,
doesn't
then
it?
yeah, 4 nows. I agree.
Just so
Listen,
you
right,
know,
If they put out a
people,
weak
everyone,
team and we beat them, they're going to go, it's our fucking shit team.
and look, just so that you know, Crowell's only job on this slide is to hide Ben Rama so that we can't select him. That's still the same from last week.
I'm wondering.
Can we put Noble more near the pitch, Nick?
Hey,
Can we get Noble nearer to the pitch?
you want
Yes.
to
Noble playing it. Noble
Just
playing
get
that
him
game.
near the pitch.
A little bit
something.
closer than Ashby.
Yeah, a little bit closer. Yeah, just
little
closer.
Yeah.
I love him. You know.
There you go,
You
it's
know how
fine.
much I love him. Yeah. Cheers.
fine,
Thanks for that.
That's right, mate. That's right.
When it goes to penalties, Noble's going to score the winning one.
Oh, imagine.
Well, Noble would be a sub if we think it's going to go.
He's gone now. He's gone beyond
He'd
Crowell.
absolutely be a sub.
Nick, why'd you hate Noble, Nick? What's your
I
problem?
would put Noble over in the chat. That's where
Why
I'd
you-
be putting him. But every dog.
So if this is meant to be our strongest team, why are we not playing Diop?
Diop is there.
Diop is in
He's
there.
right there.
Oh, sorry, I've just
Chris, how
refreshed.
many whiskies have you had?
Thank you. It's all right. I had a blank where that was.
What
do you think?
Oh, dear.
No, I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see anything at the bottom. I was thinking, why have we got
blank.
why have we got two central defenders?
I wonder what that squeaking was coming from your room.
Excuse me, everybody. Right. Excuse me, everybody. If we pick this team to play Spurs, and fuck who they play, including Sean. I don't care, mate. I don't care, Sean Webber. I don't care. Right. Put the lasagna up, Nick. So I'm going full fucking Spurs. I'm going full.
Go on, Gary. Go on.
If we
Is there
put
a
this
rallying
team up,
cry?
if we put this team out against dirty Tottenham Hotspur, filthy Spurs, do we win?
Yes.
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 Yeah,
Let's
we
have a
do.
vote. Democratic Society, vote. We win.
Yeah.
I.
In regulation.
And
I think
Antonio
that's
beat- just
We've
scores.
won.
He just
We're in the
scores
semi-finals. We're in the semi-finals already. I don't care what anyone says.
And
I'll
we
just
play
say that
Chelsea.
lasagna song does my head in, though.
Lasagna. Oh.
And I'll tell you why. Because someone on the train home from the cup final sung that all the way from Cardiff, all the way
Oh
back
my
to
God.
London, right,
200 miles.
non-stop, yeah, on the train. And literally, me and my nephew got up the train, and we were just grateful. It was like the Pope getting, then he lands in foreign country, kissing the ground, because we're thinking, thank fuck I ain't got to listen. Because when we were leaving Cardiff, it was funny. I think by Swindon we'd had enough. Yeah, it was still another hour of it. He
Jesus
was
Christ.
literally non-stop singing that song.
Got to give him credit for persistence, though, and sort of, consistency and stuff like
Or
that.
maybe he might have been on the phone to his Deliveroo driver.
I might have punched him a little bit, only a little bit. Yeah,
might
yeah,
have.
yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Gary.
Go on.
No,
That is true. I'll just pick up what Claire says. It'd be great to win the League Cup, because then I'd be straight on the phone to China. Because the reason I've got the FA Cup is they don't make the European Cup Winners' Cup, where I got this from, and
Where
this
did you
is
get
the
it
only
from?
trophy we've won. So China, believe it or not.
China.
Which when I handed my money over, I didn't realise till I'd handed my money over. I spent 12 weeks panicking that I wouldn't
Look
be
at this
skiing.
mug.
Sean's being fucking spiteful now. Look.
Look at this Tottenham fan. Look, he loves
I've
Tottenham so much he watches a West Ham chat. Look.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
John. John, I've got a question for you. John, Virgil and Marshes.
Go. Well, I know Nigel's going to disagree with me here because we had a little bit of a discussion about it before. But in my mind, Noble's not in the bin because he's a club legend. He's a one-man club. Whether you think he could have gone elsewhere or not is another question. You don't get many one-man club players anymore.
I think Cardiff were interested once.
He could be on the bus home now with John.
What, Cardiff City are in for Noble? That would be unbelievable.
Who?
Cardiff City.
Is that what you just said?
I think
Yeah,
they came in for him once, Cardiff. They were interested.
Hilarious.
in him.
I'll tell you what, Sean, on this comment, go fuck yourself, mate. That is fucking out of order. me and Nick drove down to Cardiff.
You
We
know
had a
what?
lovely
That
day,
double-touch penalty
drinking in
against
Cardiff.
you, that was
And then that fucking
brilliant.
Mickey, Stephen Gerrard, scored that lucky goal that Shaka let in because he was a slacker, right? And then we drove back down the M4 at the end of the day. We would still be drinking now. We drove back down the M4 at the end of the day. Never said a fucking word to each other. I don't think we've said a polite
James.
word to each other since, Nick, have we?
No. No, we can't be in the same room, as you all saw on camera the other day. I just look at him and I want to kill him, to be quite honest. Right, so
Your brief post-match re-review of the Arsenal game was a lot more diplomatic than the first.
yeah, no. We
Lot of fun. though.
we took that down. We
Danny,
took that
did you
down.
catch the exclusive first show?
Yeah.
Danny.
Oh, fuck. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Dan. Sorry,
Dan, if
Dan.
you noticed, I was very well behaved, mate. It wasn't me; it was the brothers.
All John
Yeah,
does,
you
he
didn't
did
do
it there with his wooden spoon. John's got his
It was
spoon
the
now.
Cray twins. It was the Cray twins causing mayhem.
I'll tell you what, being in the same room as Nick reviewing a game just after we've been is a fucking nightmare. Because
It sounds
when it-
awesome. I'm glad I'm not related to you guys, but it sounds like a blast.
That's the thing, Gal.
I really thought there was a safeguarding issue going on with you two.
Well, I mean, I think he's barking mad after every game just by watching him on like Facebook.
On Facebook.
What I
yeah.
love is like 2 days later, he goes, "We need to calm down," and I'm thinking, no, mate. The day on my face,
Show some
no.
perspective.
2 days later, Nick goes, "People, we need to calm down. We need to show." And I'm
Listen.
thinking, "No, Nick, you need to calm down,
My
son."
life's a roller coaster, Nigel. My life's a
You know-
roller
All this knee-jerk reaction is ridiculous, isn't
Do
it?
you know what the best thing is?
Don't
You know what the
get
best thing is?
start
Nick,
that Gerard
Nick-
past the ball. Oh my god!
Nick apologises on my behalf, and I ain't even said anything. We
I'll
are
blame the
sorry
humping
for our
dog.
outburst. I'm like, what fucking outburst? I've never said anything.
The Driscoll brothers.
No, it's true what he says here. It's more the Driscoll brothers and the Cray twins. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Nice one.
Right.
Okay, good stuff. Gary, do you want to wrap up?
Yeah, I will. So look, before we go, we still haven't decided what we're going to do over the Christmas period, but we'll definitely be back with a couple of ad hoc shows when we decide what we do, when we're going to do it, whatever. Look out for us. Thank you all for joining us tonight. And I think I've got to be honest, right? This has opened my eyes to having like a bigger group of people because we were, you know, I don't think I'd like to watch it back and see, but I think we've been really good tonight. I don't think we've all talked over each other or anything else. It's been brilliant. So thank you all.
What did you say?
Nigel, Chris, Father Jack, Mike Brennan, and Danny. Thank you for joining us. It's been fabulous.
Thanks for having me, you guys. Can't wait to see you guys in person. And
It's always good to have as many people on as listeners. So
Yeah.
Fucking hell,
That's
Nigel.
We ain't
Yes,
thought of it.
Nige!
Gary, that's the only thing we ain't thought of. The more people we invite on, the less fucking views we're getting here.
What a catty thing to have said.
And thank you as usual thank you to Nick and thank you to John. You've been average as usual.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd like to wish all of our many viewers a very Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you all. I hope you have a lovely time. Remain COVID-free. Until we see you next time, thanks for watching. See you soon. And come on, you irons, without the crossed irons. Good night.
Yeah.
Nigel loves this.